It was you were mentioning something about the village and people, and
I'll
then
wait till we're back on stream.
Oh, I'll be
oh no,
back.
we're back. I just pressed stream. I just had to reload it,
Okay.
so we're good. Sorry about that.
Cool. Yeah. So as you guys are approaching the village, you get the sense that it's not too big, sort of spatially. It doesn't expand out very big, but the structures seem fairly permanent. It doesn't seem like a nomadic or a transient village. The logs that are used, sort of buried into the ground to set up these sort of tent-like structures, are pretty thick around. They're dug fairly deep into the ground, so fairly permanent. And then, like I said, the majority of the center area is kind of like it's all under sort of circus tent because there's all these skins that have been stretched out to make a sort of covering canopy over all of the structures within the central area of this village. And that seems to be where most of the action and drama, at least as far as the noise is indicating, is occurring. But as you are entering into the outskirts of the village, you see a number of sort of humanoid figures running back and forth, sort of screaming and shouting in a language that you don't know, kind of half squawking at times. And I need a perception task from each of you. The difficulty of this perception task, because it is still the pre-dawn, it's starting to be like dark blue in the sky, but it's not quite dawn yet. Difficulty of 3 as the base for perception.
I'm skilled in perception.
Hey, the first roll is a 17.
Yeah,
Nice.
Beth. Yeah, because Beth, you spent some of your XP to gain. You had training in perception, and then you took specialization, so you're like doubly good. So your base is a 1, so you only need a 3 or higher.
I'll still end up failing it.
What was the base on this bad boy?
15.
Base 3.
Also, remember, guys, there are some new commands. You can do exclamation point roll, and you can win or lose some gold playing a game against Moldark. Or, and it's like a 2 or 3 minute cooldown on that, so you can't spam it. And there's also give. You can do exclamation point give, then person's name, then the amount of gold that you wish to give them from your own collection. So
Cool.
fun.
Cord just rolled a nat 20.
Yeah,
That's
so I'll give the
right.
base.
Hey.
I'll give the base perception to Will and Beth, to Seto and Alicia first, and then I'll let Jeckley know what he knows additionally. So, Alicia and Seto, you're tracking that these stork people are at best in, what we would refer to as players as like the Stone Age. So they have some sort of hide armors a little bit as they're running back and forth as you guys are just entering into the outskirts of the village. And their weapons at best are spears with some rocks sort of strapped around them. They seem to use a lot of some kind of seaweed as their main sort of string or sort of tying implement. It seems to be fairly like firm seaweed that they use, but they by no means have refined metals for swords or armor, let alone firearms. So they are hugely outgunned against these creatures. And Jeckley, actually on that 20, I'll say that you start to notice, or you notice just entering into the edge of the village, that there are 4 of these sort of creatures, these stork-like mutants, that have just spotted your group, and they're sort of running towards you guys sort of from the right-hand side as you pass the first building in this village. And they seem equal parts sort of scared as well as sort of aggressive. They definitely don't know what to make of you, given that these other strange creatures have just entered into their village. But I'll let you sort of respond or interact with them before they sort of jump you from the side, as it were.
Okay, so these stork people are running at us.
Yeah, so you're sort of entering into the village. Elijah's sort of beelining it towards the center. Doesn't seem to notice, neither do Seto or Alicia, and you notice that sort of off to the right, just around the corner of one building, you see a bunch of these sort of stork people just notice you guys as you're passing and turn their course just instinctively to run towards you.
Do they seem hostile?
So it's the stalk people going to attack us. I mean,
Yeah,
coming towards us.
There are 4 stork people who were running in one direction, Cord, and then they sort of caught sidelong eyes with you. And then more strange people, and they've now turned towards you. They have their weapons drawn, but their weapons were drawn for another purpose.
Okay, I'm gonna probably hold out my hand but I'm also gonna with my left hand, and I'm gonna flick my right wrist so the blade comes out, and I'm gonna still like hold out my hand up and be like, "Listen, I don't want to fight." And he's just like, he's got his hand up, like trying to wave them down. He doesn't like, this is gonna be a bad idea. Don't attack us. Like, trying to calm him down, I guess.
Okay. Give me an intelligence-based task of
Sure.
3 as the base. You don't necessarily know if they speak your language yet.
Yeah, but he's just.
I mean, unless
hopefully
you're
through
just
body
kind of like,
language.
me and Liz are just like chugging along,
Yeah.
blissfully unaware.
Yeah, didn't work. Probably the flick
Okay.
of the wrist was probably what did it.
Yeah, by extending or drawing your weapon, that obviously alarmed them. Yeah, so initiative from everyone.
All right.
These creatures are a base 2.
All good. Not as difficult as the other guy. The other guys last time were level 4, aren't they? They were difficult.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Rob 8. Stalks, watch out, they may give you a baby.
Success.
Don't let them touch. Don't let them touch your belly.
Okay, so all 3 of you get to go first. These creatures sort of charge their way sort of towards you. They're clearly bent on combat. Although as you see them getting closer, they're equal parts terrified as they are sort of aggressive or in desperation. One of them's sort of nursing quite a wound. He's got a really bad limp. The other 2 seem unharmed, or sorry, the other 3 seem unharmed. But the 3 of you get to go first, given that you succeeded on initiative, so this doesn't necessarily need to turn to blows. And no particular order between the 3 of you. You can exchange as you like.
I guess directly on the nat 20. But for your perception before. you
Yeah,
might
he's
go.
just gonna be like, fellas, and he kind of alerts you guys, and that's probably what gets you guys to all spring into action. But as they, I think I'm just gonna probably, I'm gonna keep my wrist blade out, but I'm still gonna draw my bow from my back. And
Okay.
so like I've got the blade is still out, but I am starting to like reach for the bow because I'm not excited for what's about to happen. But you guys can act before me. I'm just because I don't know if he Jackley doesn't know if he wants to attack them yet.
Alicia, do you go before me? Because
Um,
I'm thinking.
Alyssa's going to kind of turn around and notice them running towards her. Realise that while she's been running, her flames have come back on, without her kind of.
You left the oven on.
So she kind of turns towards them, sees them running, clicks her fingers, the flames kind of disappear, and she's going to put her sword on the ground, kind of
Okay.
still within reaching distance if she needs it, but just kind of put it down, and she's going to put her hands up and back away and kind of say, "We're not here to hurt you."
Are we not? Oh. I
Not
That's-
them with the big guys.
Okay,
have-
so this is fudging a little bit because I mean these are kind of persuasive roles, but it's body language, right, as opposed to
Yeah.
spoken language. Still applies for sure. Beth, you can have 2 assets on this roll because you clicked off your flames and you put your weapon down on the ground in front of you. So you can roll a difficulty base 1 to at least get them to just stop where they are, even if they're not entirely convinced of who you are or your purpose.
Is this intellect based?
Yeah,
Yeah, just don't.
In
roll
that
under
case, I'm
3.
just going to knock it down to nothing.
cool.
Nice.
Automatic success. Very good use of that.
So the way everything works, guys, if you are new to Numenera, so there are is it 1 through 12, 1 through
1 to 10.
1 to
is the
10
DC.
difficulties, and if just by following along, you can take the difficulty and times it by 3, and that's going to be the difficulty on the dice. This game is constantly about succeeding and failing. It's not really much about like, oh, this number means I can do this. I rolled a 17 on my initiative. I can get to go first. That's where I stand. It's really just the heroes, us succeeding against Delinear. So when he says there's a difficulty-based task, he doesn't need to roll anything. We just have to roll a yes or no above whatever that difficulty is. She had a 1 right there, so to multiply that by 3, the difficulty on the dice would have been 3. So it would have been really easy, but she knocked it down to 0. So anyway, that's the basics of Numenera, is us just constantly rolling these little difficulties. So
Yeah, and you have the agency as a player to reduce DC all the way to 0, so it guarantees a success. So it sort of gives you the power to choose which tasks are like really important to you. And this is a great example of that by Beth. What I am going to say, just for cinematic effect, Will and Myth, both of you, just roll a d20, just plain
Oh, okay.
d20.
So after that, all that explaining,
7.
Yep.
where's my roll window? Oh, it's hidden behind Delinier's face.
Don't cancel IBS again or OSM again.
Sweet.
Okay. Jeckley, you can take 1 XP,
Okie doke.
and there's going to be a spear thrown from behind you, as there was another one of these creatures sort of running from the other side that didn't sort of see or witness Beth's gesture. And he's just going to wildly throw his spear with a
Nice.
sort of Donald Duck noise. And you still get to make a speed defense task, but the spear's coming your way. So speed defense task, base of 2.
So that's 6 on the dice. I have an edge in... Oh, I have an edge in speed, actually.
So it would reduce if
That's
you were going to
cool.
spend.
If I wanted to reduce that, yeah.
Seto kind of rolls his eyes
He's gonna just
as
do it.
Alicia's like put her weapon down.
Success.
Yeah, so you can easily dodge or parry out of the way, given that you had your weapon drawn.
Yeah, as it's flying, he's just probably gonna, when he like holds his hand up and like he like ducks his head a little as to like show a little bit of submission or like some sort of like calm down, like reassuring. Like probably the arrow is just gonna go, or the spear is gonna go right by his left ear as his left arm is up, and it just kind of startles him. And then he probably looks behind him and sees the guy quacking.
Yeah, and I'm sure like the guy that the mutant that threw that spear, like the minute he threw it, he saw his sort of 4 compatriots who are like standing there not attacking, and kind of went, oh, he realized he fucked up.
Cool. I'm gonna move in to kill this guy.
Yeah, this guy's
alright.
going down.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
Does Alicia see this Seto kind of turning to kill the guy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're sort of in initiative order, sort of not. So you guys can for sure like speak or interact with one another, I guess. But if Will's hell bent on it, he can definitely take the stride while you're saying whatever you're going to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And
like I see
I'm
this
just
baby.
going to turn around and say, Seto, no!
Cool.
Seto, would that influence you or not?
Um,
This woman you've met 4 days ago.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he kind of glances. It's just like it's just so stupid to say like you wouldn't kill this. Like they wouldn't kill this person who's just tried to murder his friend. So difficulty 2, is it?
Yep.
Cool. Let's see how we do. Success.
And your damage is 7.
7. Yeah.
Okay, you can kill this just outright.
Cool. Yeah. He lobs.
Alicia face palms.
He lobs the spear. I instantly like see it just duck past Jeckley. I turn over and I lop his head off.
Okay, make a speed defense task, Will.
I shall. I'm skilled in speed defense now. I upgraded that before.
Okay, so it'll reduce the difficulty by 2. The base for this one is a 5, so you get to reduce it down to 3.
3, nice. I will do so. 0 success, already 2.
Nice.
Okay. Elijah, at this point, has sort of turned around, seen this sort of transpire, and he's pulled out a small little capsule that has a little red button on it. So it looks kind of like an enlarged metallic pill. Kind of looks like a pill shape. He pushes the little button and throws it directly at you. You feel a tiny little click as something sort of clinks off your back shoulder, Will. And this pill erupts in like kind of greenish goo. So think of like Spider-Man webbing that sort of just wraps you up in a cocoon, just up to sort of the neck. So you're now held in place. And Elijah sort of accompanies this with a sort of stop. And then he turns to the 4 other stork people that haven't been beheaded and starts conversing with them in some kind of duck speak.
Duck speak.
Yeah, some kind of duck speak. I mean, they kind of have like what looks like what was developing as a beak, but it's still covered in skin, so it never actually sort of protruded out as just sort of the cartilage there, which is weird. But we'll say they do have a bit of a duck speak going on. But yeah, so Will, you get sort of wrapped up after you've lopped the head off. Obviously, the 4 other stork people are enraged at this, and they start sort of hooting and hollering, jumping up and down, and Elijah is trying to talk them down. Yeah, quacking away. And at this, Alicia and Jeckley, you can hear that the gunfire seems to be subsiding a little bit. It is coming from towards the center of this village, but there's not quite as much of it. It's more intermittent, the odd sort of pop and crack here and there. but nothing as sort of consistent as it was initially.
I say, Jackley, get me out of this thing.
Don't kill them though. We don't want to kill them. So stop trying to behead them.
I killed the one that attacked us, not the others.
Right.
This
Yeah,
is
actually, it was
most
very dishonorable. You're absolutely right. And he,
Dishonorable to throw a spear when you had your back turned.
you're correct. All right. And
I have avenged your honor.
And
now.
thank you.
Set me free.
Right. So he gets out. He takes out the blade, and he puts the bow over his shoulder, and then he uses his wrist blade and just slices.
Little wrist
down.
blade, yeah.
Yeah, and just starts to slice down the webbing.
At this, as you're sort of slicing the webbing, it'll take you probably 2 or 3 minutes to cut enough of it away. It's still quite sticky, so it's hard for you to actually get enough sort of friction to cut through it. So it'll take you a minute to completely free Seto. A number more of these stork creatures are started to approach, sort of walking up. Nowhere near as aggressive as the original ones. Now they're sort of more inquisitive. They still seem terrified. They're all wide-eyed. And you're seeing sort of women and children as well walking up. And then you see 2 sort of elderly stork mutants. One of them walks over to Elijah and starts sort of interacting with him as they do. And then the other one walks up to you, Will, while you're sort of stuck and being freed. And he's just sort of looking at you and giving you the sort of strange sort of like pokes and prods. And he tries to sniff you at one point.
Cool. I like go to headbutt it if it comes to an enemy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say he sort of tries to dodge the headbutt kind of thing, and you don't actually deal serious damage. You still
Go
clump
to nut
but
him.
Yeah, now he knows not to sniff too close.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah, but yeah, so there's a small sort of gathering that's sort of coming towards you and around you, and the majority of the older-looking storks are sort of speaking with Elijah, and the others are sort of standing, walking around you. Beth, near Alicia, there's sort of a child, little boy that sort of waddles up, and he's really interested in like the buckles on your boots, the sort of metal buckles. So he's kind of clinking at them and sort of tapping them with a rock, and like hearing the noise they make and things like that. So he's very enamored by your boots.
Adorable.
I just kind of let him. It's not a problem. He's just a kid. Doesn't exactly pose much of a threat.
Jackley, are these things mutants?
Looks like it. Yeah.
Strange.
Was that strange?
I just continue trying to pull myself out the webbing.
No, this is these guys are the inhabitants of the Invisible Lake. They're more of a stalky people.
They give me the willies.
Ah,
There it is. I was waiting
now
for
you
it.
get
All right.
it.
Now we can move on. Seto has had the willies.
Finally. Took us 3
End of
episodes.
chapter 1.
All right, see you guys next season.
So as Seto, you're getting sort of unencumbered by this sort of web trap with the help of Jekli and Alicia. You're sort of clicking your foot
I'm
back.
not helping him.
Yeah, clicking your foot back and forward for this child who P-Farts very accurately asked, is it Huey, Dewey, or Louie that's playing with your boot buckle. Right as Seto's finally being sort of released from the last of the webbing, we'll say that Elijah sort of walks over with one of the elders and starts sort of explaining the situation. Now, I've put together a bit of a puzzle, sort of a tactical puzzle. I don't do these too often, but they're fun once in a while. And it's one of the few times where I've ever actually had a narrative justification for my shitty drawing. So Elijah's gonna sort of walk over and start to draw in the ground in front of you a sort of rough layout of what he's just been told by one of these elders about what's going on at the center of the village. So he's sort of sketching this in the ground, sort of with his heel, we'll say, sort of dragging it roughly as he can, which will account for the very poor drawing that we're about to see of what's been going on.
As he's doing this, I say to Elijah, Mr. Elijah,
He's sort of looking up and says, yes.
I will forgive a man once, but do that to me again, and I will kill you.
He'll look up and sort of lock eyes with you, and then give a quick little nod before continuing
Now,
to score his drawing.
Mitch, did you literally just take a picture of the ground and then use paint to go over it?
No. This was all in Roll20. I typed in ground, believe it or not, and found this great background image, and then I just
no way.
yeah, for sure. It's with the Roll20 backdrops. But yeah, so what he explains is that the village is built around what this tribe of mutants calls the Hearthstone. Obviously, Elijah's never seen this or inspected it. He doesn't know what it is.
take a seat by the fire.
There we go. This Hearthstone, as far as Elijah knows,
Close the door. It's cold out there.
it's like a 75-foot by 50-foot sort of rectangular box. This tribe has no idea what it is. If they don't know what's in it, what causes it to do what it does, but this box radiates a lot of heat. It's just always giving off as much heat as a campfire, actually, if you're up close to it. So this whole village was built around this sort of hearthstone and sort of expanded outwards from there. And he says that the hearthstone, actually, yeah, on the drawing. I will scribble in with more yellow.
You can hold your. Oh, it's this thing.
So this sort of rectangle up here,
Yeah.
with the squiggle, on the top left, that's the hearthstone. And he said these raiders, these sort of semi-mechanical creatures, have set up a little sort of perimeter to protect it, and one of them, as described by the villagers, seems to be trying to cut into it with showers of light, is all these mutants were able to describe with their rudimentary understanding of technology. So there's one of these creatures that is standing sort of at the hearthstone, trying to cut into it, and then there's a number of others sort of around a perimeter. So what I will say, you can all see the map, you're all good?
What's the other yellow bit?
Yeah, so this yellow bit here is a group of hostages. So there's about six or seven of these sort of stork mutants that are stuck there, that are sort of being watched over by these two Urgolians, as they are called. They've set up a barricade here to block off the other path. These two Urgolians are just sort of watching this channel here, as are these ones watching this road to the sort of southeast. They're behind a sort of block of cover that they've sort of grabbed just a bunch of sort of rubble and things from all the explosions from their grenades, etc. There's one Urgolian that is much thicker than the others, so he's roughly the same height, but he's not gaunt. So he's sort of a thick, bruiser-like version of his compatriots. And then this here, this whole sort of section is all sort of buildings and roofed walls and things, but this is just a particularly high point where there are two that are up top. As sort of scouting, so you'd have no line of sight from here to here, for instance, unless they were to be sort of right close to the edge. Then they'd be able to look down and see. Does that sort of make sense, roughly?
I think so.
And thank you, Fing9977, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend.
The only
where-
other piece is that these circles here are the sort of large support pillars that are holding up that sort of circus-like canopy that I said extends outwards from the hearthstone.
Okay.
So off of each of these,
like
what
a
are essentially trees that have been set up, there's lots of ropes and things hanging and sort of tied to it, as the sort of patchwork of skins sort of covers over top this whole area.
Whereabouts are we?
You guys are sort of off to just straight to the east. And obviously the villagers know how to provide you or how to sort of lead you around their village to have access to anywhere from any direction on this map, but that's all they know. They've had their villagers try and sort of sneak up and see as best they can, but the Urgolians are quite aggressive with their firing to make sure that everyone stays away while they try and carve into this hearthstone.
And they're trying to figure out
So
what's
the
inside?
The Urgolians seem to, as far as Elijah could grasp, these villagers had no idea that the hearthstone was anything other than like just a rock.
Box.
So the thought that it would be hollow to them is kind of strange. They don't really understand that concept. But Elijah's sort of gleaned that these mechanical creatures are trying to get inside whatever's inside the Hearthstone.
Okay.
So yeah, your sort of tactical puzzle. The other big piece being that none of these villagers want to go near this area. They've all been sort of sufficiently terrified and wounded by all of this gunfire, that you're sort of on your own as a party to sort of deal with this as best you can to try and stop them from getting in to the Hearthstone. One of the elders at this point sort of squawks to Elijah, letting him know that these pillars could potentially either be sort of knocked over with sufficient force. Also, a lot of the strings and, well, I guess they're these ribbons of seaweed that they use as strings and sort of tying ropes could be cut, causing a lot of the canopies to fall down. You know that this is sort of a high point here that would give you vantage. You'd have access to any of the roofs sort of around the perimeter of this little courtyard. Elijah is more concerned with stopping the guy getting in the box, but the elder seems more concerned about these hostages here. So you guys can devise some type of plan. Keep in mind what ciphers you may have.
I've got some anti-aging cream.
Yeah.
I
Are these
turn to
tripedal creatures.
Nope, they're bipedal.
Damn it.
they're
Right.
bipedal camels, aren't they?
No, those are the those are the camels.
I'll
Those are the
find-
mounts.
I think we had a good picture.
We had a real good picture. You could probably just Google bipedal camel and you will see.
I didn't mean a good picture of the bipedal camel. Well, that's also.
We did have a good picture of the bipedal camel.
So the storm
these are the
people
creatures
want us to
here.
go after the weird mechanical fleshy tall things.
Yeah, so these mechanical fleshy tall things are all the red blips on the map. The square one is the thicker mechanical tall thing. They're all armed with firearms, except it seems like the one who's carving into the Hearthstone. The concern of Elijah is stopping them from getting into this box. He's had enough interactions with Numenera. Who knows what might happen if they crack whatever is sort of causing this heat on the inside. Could be disastrous, who knows. Whereas the villagers are quite concerned about the 6 or 7 hostages that are being held at the barricade.
I
Do you
turned
guys-
to Jeckley, and I'm just like, you did that thing with the last lot. You sneezed, and then they fell over. Couldn't you just walk into the middle and sneeze, and they all fall over?
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
They were just falling over.
Yeah, what
You were
about?
standing in front of them, and they fell over and just
Yeah.
crumpled.
Yeah, I have allergies. What does that have to do with them?
Why were they falling over?
I don't know. Luck, maybe? Why don't we light them on fire? Considering you.
We'll
burst into
need.
flames.
I clicked
we
my
wish-
fingers, and the guys, like the villagers, stopped backing off again. And I'm just like, I don't think they appreciate the flames. And click my fingers again, and they disappear.
Well, yeah, I've got my ways, but I'm not sure if we're ready for them. We could probably discuss what we
What-
can use for the advantage.
What
against
happens?
them. Yeah.
What happens if the creature gets into this Hearthstone?
Elijah will look to you with sort of a stern and somber look and say, there are far too many possibilities, most of which involve far too much risk for us to even entertain that as an option. Our priority needs to be stopping that Orgullian from getting into the Hearthstone.
And so this is more important than the lives of these mutants here. I say
There's the
for-
possibility that opening this Hearthstone or puncturing whatever is causing this Numenera to generate heat could, I don't know, possibly leave a crater the size of the lake on this side of the shore, which would do far more damage, yes, than those few hostages not making it alive.
Very well. I will go there.
If we get close enough, I could talk to what's in the Hearthstone.
Very well.
Ooh, is anyone
Hang
gonna?
on, you can talk to it.
Well, I mean, I could probably.
I just
see
nod
what-
as if it's like it's a thing he does.
Hang on. So
The not so big
You're willing-
reveal.
you're willing to talk to whatever is in the Hearthstone, That's
Aren't
if
you
there's
interested? Could be
anything in
something.
it.
Well, yeah.
If there's anything in it.
There is anything in it.
But
As-
you're not willing to do whatever you did last time to save the hostages
I don't
and
know
then
what you're talking
stop
about.
getting
I don't think I've ever mentioned
guy getting
the
into
fact
the
that I was.
Hearthstone?
I never mentioned to you in game that he was the one disarming these things.
She was standing next to you, he was sneezing, and then they were falling over. She's seen enough weird shit with Max to figure out there's some kind of connection.
Alright.
I mean,
Not
I,
sure
I
what
would
it
I would
is.
side with Cord on this until just now when he admitted to being
Yeah.
able to talk to machines somehow.
Yeah.
Alicia, as they say, just roll with it. And I set off. I head out without further.
All
Okay,
right,
which
let's see.
direction are you heading towards?
As we
yeah,
walk
I'm-
towards there.
I mean,
Because again, you guys can approach. You guys can approach from sort of wherever, with the exception of actually like walking on the top of the Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
too hot. Yeah.
I'll probably come in from the north by this
Yeah, I was thinking that
northmost
too.
pillar.
Okay.
Probably as we're walking, Alicia. I guess I kind of alluded to it earlier. I've got a gift where I can speak to machines. I understand them as much as I can understand you. They may not understand me, but that is my creed, and I must try my best to figure out what this world has to offer and why it's done what it's doing.
I'm just like, at least yours is fairly useful. I just burst into flames. I mean,
Well,
not
I mean-
extremely useful.
Yeah, I mean, if you're ever knocked over by something, or if we're playing a game of tackle football, then maybe you could probably help.
Exactly. I mean, at least talking to machines can help at the moment. Whereas I go full flamo and people start running and screaming. And not the people we want to kill.
I don't know. It could be pretty god-like. Right, so looks like we're here, and so we're going to the
Yeah.
north-ish.
So what I'll say, Cord, just a reminder, is that you need line of sight for your deactivating
Yeah, I can't
thing.
just, yeah.
But yeah,
And
if you guys
only
want,
vision I can get from it would be like there, like, which is like, this is all walls, or no, this is pillars, right? But this
yeah.
is-
So again, this was sort of, you're on the roof, and you can sort of go around the pillar and still be on the roof around this
Yeah,
side
yeah.
here. So yeah, you guys can approach from any angle. You can all be in the same spot. You can sort of split up, however you like. Obviously, Seto is a man possessed.
I actually think Jeckley's gonna probably make his way towards the this high tower here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably come in by this pillar. Yeah, is it pushable?
You would need something more than just your body pushing it. So you'd need to sort of hack at it quite a bit from the one side to be able to get some leverage, or you need to hack at a lot of the ropes that are sort of holding it and pulling it in different directions.
You said they're wood, yeah?
Yep,
Wood burns.
sure does.
Science.
Science with that.
Science rules. Bill.
I am
Beth.
so
Yeah, there's Seto like trying to push
You're-
on it, and then I
at
like
at this one.
burn it. Yeah.
Okay, so
In
Seto,
that
and,
case,
Seto and Beth are both at this one here.
She just hugs like a
I'm
mast.
gonna-
Just-
grab one of
Especially
the
when things
ropes
like
with
that.
one hand and put my hand on the other one and just go, just close my eyes and the flames start kind of growing, and I want to make them as big as I possibly ever had and as hot and powerful and awesome, and I want to burn the shit out of it.
Famous last words.
Okay.
I hate
Uh,
this
so Beth-
telephone pole.
I
burning
really
hand.
don't like this.
Ignite this post and all of its trappings to sort of
Yeah.
weaken it as best you can. Cord, do you have any like robotic clicking noises that you can make?
You're gonna have to give me a second, but I'm gonna use this the smoke probably from the erupting flames as a distraction, so I can sneak up onto that
Yeah, so you will need to climb. So as Beth is sort of giving it a moment, I assume Beth and Will, you guys are sort of on the opposite face of this pillar, so you're not sort of standing on this side for them
Yeah.
to see you. So on the opposite face of the pillar, Seta, you're watching as Beth sort of starts to ignite all these ropes, sort of grabbing one after the other to get them all going. Like they're communicating with each other, and it's clearly like they're sending sound back and forth. But it's I'm trying to think of noises from the Matrix, but like they're not communicating in language. It's just kind of these weird,
Beep boop.
not yeah, not the R2D2 kind of stuff, but they are communicating. They're aware. They're aware of the flames. Yes, yeah, it's
Close
definitely the Murloc. They start to communicate with one another, but no one starts to open fire. So Beth, you still have freedom to sort of keep building those flames. We'll turn to Cord. Cord, I do want a climb check before we dive into initiative, before this all gets gray.
It's speed, right?
Yep, so it's going to be speed, and the base difficulty is going to be 4.
Okay, I'm gonna spend some stuff in that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna spend two of my speed, which is actually at 14, but it was actually at 10 just there. I'm spending 2 of it so I can knock it down to 3. Do I have any assets? I do not have any assets. Before I actually start to climb, I'm going to give my... I'm going to affix the heat nodule onto my bow. And then I'm going to... Yeah, so that gives me +2 fire damage. So my bow does 6 damage now, but 2 of it is fire damage. And then he's going to put that on his back. And then he's going to climb up onto the thing. Difficulty of 3. It was 4, but I did 3. 19 success.
Cool. Yep, so you can climb up just fine, and a small asset on that, I'll say you can choose whichever face you want to have climbed up, so sort of the ideal position. I know you said you wanted to use for cover, but I'll say you can find lots of cover on all 4 sides, so you can climb up to whatever side you'd like.
He's going to climb up here and try to do a hanging assassination from any of the stealth games of this generation.
Okay. So the base difficulty on attacking... Yep, base difficulty on attacking these guys is a 4. Because he's completely unaware that you are there at all, it's going to go down to a 3, so you've got an asset on that.
Cool. Sweet. This. 11 success.
Cool, awesome. So your wristblade does 2 damage?
Does 2 damage, yep. 2 damage and falling damage.
But then you're throwing him, so yeah, he's ostensibly out of it for now.
Yeah, I'm going to stab through his chest and with the blade in his chest, grab his clothes or mechanics or anything,
some
really,
tubes.
and then tubes, and then just put all of his weight there, and then hang and throw him off the edge.
Cool. I like Shadow of Mordor, just give him a stab and throw
Absolutely,
him back.
yeah.
Cool. With that, we're going to have to roll initiative because his partner is immediately going to sort of cry out in their strange robotic noise that Cord will work on. I'm going to start scratching out, so this guy is thrown off the building. He's no longer a contender. And we'll roll initiative. So you guys are rolling against creatures of a base 4.
It's 4 for me. Nope. I rolled a 3.
Success.
Okay, so Jekyll, you're good. And
I got a
Synox.
12 or 6, so no. No success.
Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4,
Second
5,
17 of the night.
6, 7.
I guess, the fact we're trying to light a fire and
Yeah, so the
arouses
advantage.
their attention.
Well, no, it's actually more from Cord having assassinated the. So Will and Beth, you
Yep.
guys are at the bottom of the initiative order, but no one knows of your whereabouts. So your initial enter into the fray, whenever you choose to do so, in turn order, will have an asset on however it is that you'd like to enter in. But conveniently, Cord, you get to go first. There's that one other partner, Orgulian, standing over you, sort of barrel down, right towards your Well, your face, really.
Wait a second. I think I actually have. I gave myself a photo, so that means I think I gave myself a token. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you can
Could
token
you
it up.
could you shrink that?
Shrank it.
You have to. I can't. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Um. So there's that other guy.
It's still hang. Yeah.
Yeah, still hanging. I'm gonna try to do the same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do the same thing. Probably grab his ankle, so he like
Okay.
maybe. Actually, no. He's gonna. I'm just gonna disable him. Probably as he's
Okay.
calling. I just go. I just click it, and then
Cool. So he just slumps over.
yeah, and then that probably my turn. I sneeze, and the thing just starts to. I guess all of its mechanical parts cease, and then he starts
Yeah.
his muscle mass and whatever falls to the ground, and he tries to figure out how to stand or even function.
Well, they do
his
that weird sort of like
cybernetic
writhing
legs.
thing where like
Yeah.
the non-mechanical parts of them are kind of still twitching a little bit, but
Yeah, which is pretty much like their lungs and shoulder and like just
super
the weird,
disturbing.
yeah, the weird muscles.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll use those initiative rolls for whenever you guys want to like continue with combat. But because Cord was able to neutralize the two that had the sort of high vantage point without being seen, and because Seto and Beth still haven't been seen, we can sort of act out of combat. You guys can slow it down a little bit, and then the minute these creatures are aware of you, we'll use that initiative order. So at this point,
Nice.
we'll say that enough of the ropes have sort of burned their way up. There have been lots of strips of sort of animal skins and things that have started to fall, or at least like swing and droop as these supports and ropes are starting to fray and shrivel. And Will, you notice that you're getting a little bit more sort of wiggle out of this pillar, given that it's not being pulled in multiple directions, sort of kept taut by all of this sort of ceiling tent business.
Nice. Needs more wiggle.
Are all the ropes kind of burnt on that side now and non-existent?
Yeah, as best as you can see, yeah.
And what are the chances of me being able to actually set the pillar alight?
I
Is
mean,
it-
because it's
is it
so big,
just-
because it's so big around. I mean, for how long it takes for like a good log and a fire to catch, you'd be there for quite a while.
In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round and make my way around all the pillars, if
Okay.
possible, and destroy the ropes and stuff on them,
Sounds good. So it'll take you
staying
a
as far
minute or
out of
so
the
to
way
do
as
that.
possible.
Yeah, so by sort of doing this circuitous route to stay out of their line of sight, it'll take a bit of time. So we'll remain with Seto here while you sort of skirt your way around.
Cool. I'm trying to get it to land. Like I want to be able to like put. My aim is to push it onto this thing, possibly onto the second one
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So I'm gonna keep trying to strugglingly push at it as more and more ropes get frayed and burnt off.
Yeah, give it a might task. Base difficulty of 5 now.
I will endeavor. It's a difficult roll. I don't think I have anything. Flawless balancing, performing arts, speed. No, I don't. So it's just difficult. Challenging. No, it is a failure. Still a lot of give in this thing.
Yeah. And we'll say that it'll get a little bit easier each round as more of these sort of ropes fray.
Yeah.
And as this more of this tenting sort of collapses downward. So we'll go back to Jeckley. Jeckley, you can now pull yourself up and choose what to do from this high vantage point.
From this high vantage point, what's this circle here? What's that square?
The square is just the thicker Orgulian, so they're all sort of gaunt and skinny except for that square. The square is kind of a thicker version.
He's
although
such a
got the same-
square.
Such a square. And what's this
Blockhead.
yellow over here?
Those are the hostages.
Okay. I'm going to sink an arrow. I mean, I could just every turn disable one of these, but I don't know.
Actually, Cord, I'll say that Jeckley can definitely see that all of the fire has sort of
Yeah.
torched most of the ropes that are on that pillar, and you see the pillar like receive a good heave,
Yeah.
although it doesn't quite finally crack and go over. so you can tell what Seto is trying to do.
Yeah.
Should do a Legolas and like shoot one of the ropes.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I hate Legolas.
Robin Hood then.
How can you
there
hate
you go, maybe.
Legolas?
Cause. That's why. I think I'm gonna try to shoot him. I'm actually gonna try to. I just need line of sight to disable one of them.
Yep, yeah, and you've got line of sight with all of them.
I'm gonna disable this one.
What about the one on the box? Can you get to the Hearthstone dude?
I can. Is he trying to cut through it?
Yeah, so
the one
he's
trying to
using
cut
what
through it with
looks
light.
like some kind of like a torch, or what we would sort of see as sort of like a welding type instrument. But of course, it sends that sort of cascading shower of sort of white and yellow sparks. So
Yeah,
that was
I'll do
their
that.
interpretation
I
of
will,
that sort of showers of light.
I will actually disable. Yeah, I'm gonna disable him if I can.
Okay.
But I want to
I'll
do it when
say
his
when you
finger
sort of-
is on the trigger, so showers of sparks fly everywhere. And
Okay.
yeah, that's like I'm like maybe. If
Well, he's
that'll-
kind of like going back and forth, trying to grind and trying to make a bit of an opening. So he's just trying to make a vertical line at this point.
Okay.
Sort
Yeah.
of carving into this.
Nice.
Yeah, he's gonna just try. To
What I'll say,
disable that.
Cord, is you can also see, sort of down here, you see Elijah sort of crawl up, and he's sort of crawling on his belly on the sort of pile of rubble that's been built as the barricade. So he's getting ready for something over on this side.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, you can deactivate, and that will put us right back into initiative order.
Yeah.
Although-
I will
hold on.
deactivate that guy from afar, but I'm hoping it's gonna be like some sort of distraction.
Well, actually, give me a speed task. This is going to be for stealth. Just make sure that you can sort of crawl to gain line of
Yep.
sight without them seeing you, because you got to crawl to the edge of this rooftop. And if they don't
Base
see you, we'll
4,
stay
right?
out of initiative. It is going to be a base 4. I'll say that you can have an asset because you're that much higher, and presumably there's some type of not railing, but sort of a raised shingled area or something like that. So.
0 successes.
All right, so we are straight into initiative. You sort of crawl forward to get your line of sight, deactivate one of the Orgulians, and immediately
My sneeze
the
is way
thick-
too loud.
The thick Orgulian looks up and sees you. So we are
So
into the fray. So, as a response, 1, 2, 3 shots are going to fire towards you, Cord. So, speed defense task. Although because you have higher ground and they're firing up, you can have an asset, and presumably when you were sneaking, you were kind of prone-ish, or at least crouched. So you can have 2 assets. So the base difficulty is only 2 for you getting shot way up high. Okay, so you failed 1, success 1,
I get 2 shots.
and fail another. So you get peppered by 2 shots, each one dealing 4 damage.
Golly. In might,
Direct to your might, yeah.
each one deals 4.
Yeah.
Oh my. All right. So that brings my might down to 3.
Very dishonorable.
Very much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll
just-
go to...
Go. Sorry. Zolan says, I've no idea what's going on. Basically, we're trying to fight these things that are marked red. These are the Orgulian creatures. We're trying to stop them from killing the hostages, which are here, and trying to stop this thing, which is getting to this Hearthstone thing here. They look like Mips put them in chat. And of course, if you guys are new, haven't yet followed, hit the follow button and join the adventure. Carry on, Mitch.
All right, we can turn to Beth. So, Beth, you can arrive at this pillar right as you hear a bunch of shots fire towards Cord, or at least where you thought there were Orgulians, and you can only presume is now Cord.
I'm just gonna keep
You also
going
hear a
around
sneeze,
and
right?
burning things. And I'm just like,
That
I knew
mischievous
it.
sneeze.
I'm just
Disappointing.
gonna keep going round, burning things, and hoping to stay as far away from the fight as possible until I actually have to get involved.
Okay, sounds good. So then, Seto, would you like to try a might task with a difficulty of 4 this time?
I would love to. Oh, I did that wrong. Cool. 4. That one.
Nice.
Oof,
Zero
okay,
success.
It falls
on a
over in your
crit.
head.
Yep, kills
Yeah,
me.
I'm gonna say you try to get like you try to build it up a bit of momentum, going back and forth, getting it further and further, but then it actually sort of like cracks forward the other way, um, and it's not gonna like crush you. It's not gonna land on you, but in order for you to sort of dodge it and roll out of the way, you make yourself visible to the others or the creatures down on the ground.
Oops.
All right, back to Cord. Bye-bye.
All right. He just took what bullets? It looked like.
Yep, slugs.
Ah, great. What did Elijah do that round? Anything?
No, he's sort of waiting prone by those hostages. You see, he might be sort of whispering things to them, but as far as actually dealing with those 2 Orgulians, he is not.
Okay. I am going to. What are the hostages tied with?
It seems like that similar
Seaweed
sort of
rope?
seaweed wrap stuff, yeah.
Okay.
And they're only bound at the wrists, not at the ankles.
So they can run around, but their wrists are bound.
Yep.
I'm gonna precisely
Human
shoot
sushi.
one free. Okay. I'm going to just hit him right in the artery, and they die.
Valorous.
Yeah.
Kill you. Let
I'll
them
try.
free you.
I am going to. It's funny. I added my nodule to this, but I don't really actually need it for this fight. I'm gonna disable this guy.
Sure.
Wait. I'm going to disable. Which were the ones that shot at me? Do I know?
Yeah, so it was those 2 by the cover. So the 2 right here, the large, thick
Okay.
one, and the one at the cover. And then this guy here fired at you as well. These 2 were staying by the hostages. They didn't fire at you, although they're now sort of facing in that direction.
I'm gonna disable. I'm gonna disable this guy.
Okay.
You want me to roll anything?
Nope, unless the creatures are over a certain threshold, then your disable just kind of flumps.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna.
Keep in mind, it doesn't kill them because you could
Yeah.
reactivate them, and then that would bring them. So, yeah.
That's true.
Cool. Now, remember, you'd be able to move anywhere within your turn, sort of within like a 30-foot. So you could sort of pull back from the ledge.
Okay, I will. I will pull back
After
from the
having
ledge
at your knees. Okay.
and just make sure I don't get peppered again.
They're
All
firing
right. Well,
peppers.
the thicker Orgulian is going to fire towards you, but to no avail. So you hear sort of a crack and some splintering as some wood shatters. But Seto, as you're sort of dangling around the edge of this rooftop, which is only about 20 feet up, both of these Orgulians are going to fire towards you. So speed defense task against 2 shots coming at you. So 2 speed defenses at a base 4 before any training.
I am skilled, so there'll be 2s. I'll still be failures, no doubt. 1 success, just. 2 successes. Yep.
Cool. So you
Favorite.
can describe how you're sort of dodging
yeah.
these shots as you
Yeah,
go
one of
along
them
the-
like just goes past my head. Oh, as yeah, to a close shave. Probably wisps a bit of my moustache off.
And then Seto and Alicia, you can both go. So Beth, I think, is
Nope, she's back.
AFK at the moment, so you can take your. Oh, she's back.
Cool. I'm gonna. Oh, Vanessa's about to go.
No, I mean,
Hello.
you remember it's just
All
before
right, yeah,
or
yeah.
after.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Go
I
for
guess I'll push ever harder against this thing.
Oh well, no, on that crit one, it actually sort of fell.
Oh, wait, I just can't work it up. Oh, okay. So it's just
So it's now like
It's
it
just
fell
screwed.
backwards.
cool.
yeah.
I pick it up.
My task 10.
I can do something. I'm gonna attack this one, but I think I might use my Motsimadoodle, my fleet of foot.
Okay.
So I attack. So I move in, I attack with my speed, my fleet of foot thing.
Jump on it.
Cool.
Jump on it. So it's difficulty 4.
Fleet of Foot's only difficulty 2.
Oh.
Speed task.
Cool.
And that's to sort of succeed on the Fleet of Foot, and then that'll give you the extra movement, so you're good. So now you can make your attack. Because the Fleet of Foot, and you're sort of jumping from above, I'll give you an asset. So the base to hit this guy is only a 3.
Sweet. And that's a success for 7 damage.
Okay, you can describe a bloodying but not mortal wound as you land on this thing from above.
Cool. I jump across and kind of slash it across the chest and land with a roll. A tuck and roll.
And oil sputters all over.
Yes. Thank you, DDK, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. A gentleman and a scholar, sir.
All right,
Cool.
and Beth, so you are now arriving at sort of this pillar here.
Which
the
one?
Bottom left pillar.
Yep.
And you can do the same, igniting the ropes.
Yes.
And I'll say that you can tell that this pillar here, even though the pillar's not going to fall without any kind of a push, there's now sort of lots of these scraps or large sheets of sewn together skins that are sort of liable to sort of fall and land on the battlefield at any moment. So they will be sort of dropping in either conveniently or inconveniently because of all the fires you've started on all these suspension ropes.
From where I am, can I reach anything that's dangling down? Like any of the skins or anything?
For what purpose? Like how much of a
So I can
handhold
set
you need?
them on fire. I just literally need to be able to touch it so I can set them on fire as well to get the whole thing burning.
The skins probably won't burn as fast. Again, they're not going to sort of catch. They're not oiled or anything like that. They're not going to sort of burst and streak across. They're not covered in gasoline. Whereas the ropes, again, were just these sort of dried out seaweed strips. So those were much faster to sort of light and then chase one another in that sense, if that makes sense.
Okay. In that case, I'll just keep burning the ropes.
Cool. So I'll mark which pillars are smoking.
A flame. Smoking.
Okay, so that one's got lots of bits of skins and canopy liable to fall at any moment. And we're back to Cord.
Alrighty, so slowly disabling these. I'm gonna disable this one.
All right, you do your little bear crawl towards the edge, I presume.
Yep, just over here, so no one could really try to get to me. And then I sneeze, and this one falls over, squirming.
Falls over behind Seto, yeah.
Yeah. And then
Cool.
it's
All
my
right, so
turn, and then
Seto,
I
you
can-
just
yeah, that's it.
Seto, you've jumped down from a rooftop, slashed into this thing's chest. It's immediately going to sort of swing down its barrel and try and just fire at you point blank. So speed defense task, base 4.
Me?
There's one pillar up still.
Seto, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Nice.
Cool.
It's okay.
I will do so. Speed, defense, task force is down to a 2. It's a good
Yeah.
choice of skills. Yeah, so it's a success. I just kind
So
of
you can
gracefully I dance back.
you gracefully
Yep, that's how I do it.
Cool. All right, now the larger Orgulian is going to sort of step towards you and fire with his weapon as well. Now, his weapon looked like it was similar, but he has since sort of activated or pulled some type of switch or lever on it, and it's now sort of glowing blue.
It's a
And
Jedi.
he's going to fire. He's going to fire at you, Seto. So the speed defense task is still 4. But the damage may be different.
Actually, I feel like a Jedi because I should be like deflecting all these bullets with my sword.
Yeah.
So yeah, a success again. I'm gonna
The
say,
cartoon
yeah,
tiger, like
yeah.
cut the bullet in
yeah.
half.
Oh. Yep.
Cool. So he fires a beam of energy at you from his rifle rather than a slug. So it'll have to be a dodge rather than a deflect.
Cool. I do have a mastercrafted sword, so maybe I could just like zing off a little bit without melting. But yeah,
Reflected away,
Yeah.
get a prism going.
yeah. Like it out
Cool.
of the way.
All right, at this, these two sort of Orgulians are going to sort of step forward a little bit. Cord, you don't know this, but Seto, you can see that the Orgulian at the bottom there is sort of looking up and sort of aiming down its sights in this direction, sort of readying itself. And with those two stepping forward, you see Elijah sort of start to usher some of these hostages here, just to sort of crawl over as quickly as they can with him to tuck into the alley. But we go back to Beth and Will.
I'm still running around, so I've got one more to burn.
Just watching the world burn. Why are you,
Yeah.
why are you burning these pillars?
I'm not. I'm burning all the ropes around.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's all
that
the ropes
canopy falls in.
that's supporting all the
Oh, the
canopies.
ropes.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
So
Because I came to the conclusion that I can't actually burn the pillars because they're too thick.
you can,
I'm
but it'll take
gonna-
way too long.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have time to
A
burn the
lot of
pillars.
hugging.
I'm gonna attack the this dude that's in combat with me.
Okay.
With my thrust.
Are you
I'm going to
dancing? Ben?
thrust
Alrighty.
into.
Base 4.
No, I'm trying to drive my nail on it.
Oh, I thought you were trying to fly.
It's a failure. Yeah.
You want to reroll?
No. It's okay.
No. Okay.
No.
You can take an XP, Seto.
Cool.
And at the end of your turn, about a 40-foot by like 15-foot kind of triangular sheet of canopy is going to fall over you and the creature that you were fighting.
Just keep getting covered in things this episode.
So just sort of like falls down. It's quite heavy. And now that it's sort of not supported or tied up, it's sort of, you hear sort of a tick as the stick tears. And it sort of like
Cut through it.
rolls over both of you. So now you're both kind of caught underneath this thing.
Tangled together. Oh dear.
Yeah. And Cord.
As this thing's falling, can I jump onto it and like kind of ride its parachute quality kind of down? Like ride the
From where you,
like as it's like falling, I just want to
if
be like
actually-
and like jump on top of it and like.
so here's another cool use of XP. The same way that I can like tweak the narrative, you guys can do that too. So if you want to
Okay.
spend an XP, I'll say that the strip of sort of skin canopy that's falling happens to be like coming from this area and falling in that direction rather than coming from here and falling in this direction.
Okay.
So you can spend an XP to have it like conveniently falling in the course that you want it to take.
Sure, I'll do that. I will spend an XP, one of the ones that you gave me, to be awesome, and because I want to be on top of it, like because it's falling on top of everybody in the area. I kind of want to just like while people are struggling, just go up and stab them in the face, and like kind of while they can't see me.
Yeah, I think it's 40 foot by some, so it's probably going to cover like this area here.
Oh, okay. I thought this whole thing was all right.
I mean, it is slowly going to keep coming down, but it's coming from each of the different sort
Okay.
of pillars, right? So
Okay,
it's
then
going
I'm gonna withhold that part, and I'll probably do that next round when it like slowly peels off. I'm going to shoot my. Wait, could I shoot my arrow at this pillar to free that part of it, and then use my XP to ride it down?
You could fire. I don't think one arrow is going to do enough. I mean, this canopy is probably going in, about couple hundred feet in each direction over the center of this village, and it's really just Beth set all of this woven seaweed on fire, so all of the stitching that's sort of tying the different animal skins together is like slowly sort of burning across. So it's not necessarily all going to be one sheet. It's going to be sort of this scattered
peeling
sort of
in
falling
pieces.
of all these different. Yeah.
Okay. And you can smell.
So you can spend an XP to have a convenient peel,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, could I conveniently swing like Tarzan and run into this guy with my blade?
Sure.
All right.
First thing that's going to happen, so I'll say you get halfway through that Tarzan swing, sort of riding down that,
Give me the XP. Again.
riding down those skins. this Orgulian was readying an attack in your direction, so
Okay.
you're going to make a speed defense attack while you're swinging through the air. So it's going to be extra difficult.
It's 5.
So normally the base would be 4. This is going to be 5 because you're going to be trying to dodge while in the air. Oh, so close.
Yeah. Nope.
Okay, so you take 4 might damage as this thing sort of pops you as you're trying to be Tarzan.
Okay, I am impaired, and it's 7. Oh boy. That's 7 speed. This was
All right, and now you did manage to ride down in front of the thick Orgulian, so you can make your attack roll against him.
Idea. All right.
I'll save you. Oh, God.
Oh god, I'm an idiot. Jeez. Why did I do that? All right. Is Poya
you
Poya
can
in
make
chat?
your
This one's
attack
for you,
roll.
Poya. I am going to. Yeah, I'm just gonna ride my the blade into his face, hopefully, and do mediocre
Click Monkey,
damage.
this may be where Jekyll dies.
This is probably where Jekyll dies.
Okay, so base 4, because it's a light damage, it goes down to just a 3, because light weapons are easier to hit
I
with.
could just be lame and disable him in the air. I'm gonna do that.
Do that, you're less likely to die.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would have been more heroic, but I'm actually going to. Oh, thank you.
Well,
Monty
you could
Cook
disable
Games,
him
for
and then,
retweet.
like, time it, like, while you're falling, you disable so that, like, he's still collapsing and you can stab him so it looks like your stab kills him.
I could do that, but actually, yeah, I will do that because he's not actually dead until. Yeah, all right.
True.
I'll do that. So
So
I
kind
actually
of a
will
coup de grace.
coup de grace him and then stare up at the 2 others that are staring at me. Good, great.
Perfect, and it is now their turn, so they're both going to fire at you. So 2
Yep.
speed defense tasks, base difficulty 4.
Can I spend? No, I can't. I could spend speed to.
You could spend speed, and you've got 1
reduce
XP
that.
for a reroll if you want it.
I'm gonna spend. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna reduce one of them down to a 3. 0 successes. Good. I take 4 damage, which brings me to 1
Good
speed.
job.
And now I'm going to roll at a 4, which is 0 successes, but I'm going to spend an XP to re-roll that second one, which is a success. So I only took 4 damage.
Just averted. Yeah, you just averted.
Does
near
that
death.
mean you're unconscious?
No, I'm alive.
He's 1 point
I'm 1 point away from being unconscious.
unconscious? Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
But you literally just you did like a magic carpet ride down a flap of skin to then stab a robot, and then got shot while you were in the air.
both
got
your
shot.
eyes. Shining, shimmering blade.
Basically, what just happened.
Hell
You got
yeah.
shot in the air and then shot when you landed.
All right.
Encounter
As soon as I
karaoke.
landed. Oh,
Yeah.
idiot.
Okay, now thanks
Tell
to
Billy I
Beth's
love
sort
him.
of fireworks, another canopy sort of drops, not on the refugees or the hostages, we'll say. Conveniently there, sort of burying one of the Orgulians. And we can turn to Beth. So Beth, you are currently at sort of the pillar to the left here. All 4
Yep.
of the sort of sets of ropes that are sort of tying all this canopy together have been lit. So more of this canopy is going to keep falling. So you're strategically located. No one knows you're there yet. You will have an asset on anything you do against what is really only this one last exposed creature. You can see
I'm
Seto
going-
and the other sort of struggling, but
I'm going to help the refugees with the prince. And I'm going to run
Okay.
down this little passage and help them escape.
cool. Most of what it seems they need help with is sort of climbing over the barricades. You can sort of boost them or pull them over to wherever you like.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's funny. I really wanted this
Alright.
character to be like a forearm,
Seto.
a longbow kind of guy, but he's just been forearm blade this whole time.
He's a
He's got
sneezy kind
forearm.
of guy. He's got really bad allergies.
Yeah, he's got awful allergies. He's
So
So
allergic
what
to
is
machines.
Seto up to in his fort, Seto's fort party?
Yeah.
Look
He's
like
got,
that.
he's got all his pillows together. we will build a fortress. Yeah.
Welcome to
Um,
Fort Awesome.
No girls allowed. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, So I guess I'm just like fumbling with this thing, and I try and like I give up trying to like get this thing off me because it's so heavy, and I just get my like sword and try to like stab out to where I think
Yep.
this thing is.
So the difficulty is going to go up to 5 trying to
Yeah.
get this.
Fair enough, and thank you, Sir Regular, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You're a gentleman and a scholar, or a gentle lady and a scholar, depending. So I don't think I have anything that can really help me here. Nope, it's gonna be a 5. Going balls deep. Oh, on a 4. Nope. I stab some cloth.
Okay. And
Just
he
the
is
blade
similarly
sticks
sort of
out.
Yeah.
writhing around.
I think I got
Yeah,
him. I think I got him.
everyone else outside just sees your sword like stick up.
just
stick through
just
a
like
tent.
cutting through all of this cloth like a shark.
No,
Going
cutting
around.
would actually be helpful. No, you just stabbed right through.
No,
it.
yeah, it's just. Yeah, it gets
We're just
stuck.
putting little holes in it.
I think
Yeah.
I've got his vital organs.
It feels like skin.
Okay, now Cord, you get to go. There's one Orgulian staring you down.
Okay.
Again, these things are mechanical enough that he doesn't seem concerned that he's the only one standing and able. There's also the one that's buried under the canopy.
I'm not worried about that one. I'm actually gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna look up, and then disable him, and then can I hide behind this barrier?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna do that.
Sound decision.
Oh my god.
Okay, this Orgulian is going to sort of start to crawl out. And I hate mop-ups, so what I'll do is I'll give Beth the opportunity if she wants, having helped the hostages. Beth, if you want to take any kind of shot at this Orgulian that's crawling out from under the canopy, you can. Otherwise, Will, I'm not going to make you go back and forth. You can describe how you'll kill that thing. It's only at 4 HP anyway, so you only need to land 1 hit.
All right.
So you're mopping
What
up.
I
But
will
yeah, Beth.
do is, as the last kind of hostage gets over the barricade, I see this thing's head pop out, and I kind of run up. I use, I'd say, a bit of the canopy's got caught on something hard, like a rock or something, so it puts me a little bit higher up, and I just kind of jump and plunge my sword through the back of his neck.
Nice.
How much damage
If
does
the
your sword
roll
do?
lets me.
I imagine you like sliding down it with your sword out.
Yeah, I'll say
Uh,
he wasn't able to get out fully from his sort of being caught under the thing. He was only starting to crawl, so you can coup de grace. I'm not gonna make it require damage. You've got full access to his head here, so.
Nice.
I guess like, at the same time, I kind of eventually find him and stab him through, and like kind of rip my way out from this canopy. And I see that you've like I see you've stabbed him in like the back of the head, and I shake my head and say, "That was not honorably done." And then I slam
But it was done nonetheless, and
slam
she
my
bows
sword-
graciously.
I slam my sword back into my hilt and walk off towards this hearthstone area.
Cool. So we're
he's
out
looking
of initiative here.
He looks very stern.
All right. So once we're out of initiative, I'm gonna bandage
On
myself
that
up.
note, can I take?
Yeah, so actually, can we just take a 1-minute break? I'm going to run to the washroom, and then we can go
Sure.
from there at the entrance of the Hearthstone.
Awesome. I'm
Perfect.
going to take a 10-minute break and not a real
10
break.
minutes?
No, 10 minutes in game.
Your
And
character,
give
yeah.
myself
Okay.
give myself a bonus roll thing here. Whatever it is I do. So I rolled 3. Good. I have 3 hit points I could spend, which I'm going to
Sweet.
put it into. It doesn't really matter where I put it in actually. Giggity.
Whilst you guys do that and I take a break, let me remind you that you can win yourself a copy of the Player's Handbook. I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but
Yeah.
it feels like I've been talking about it forever. But we're giving it away very soon. It's only like a week or two until this actually goes away on Halloween. So
A week from Saturday, actually.
Wait for Saturday. Cool. And on Saturday, there's a 24-hour stream of D&D that we're doing with our friends and colleagues. We've got Saving Throw show joining us. We've got Typical GM joining us. We've got Experience Points, a web series, joining us. We've got WorldBuildingSchool.com joining us. We've got Henley joining us. We've got Delinear joining us. We've got so many people. I've counted it the other day. There's
Myth.
like We've got
Maybe.
Mythomatic joining us.
No,
so-
but it's so awesome. We have
That's
so
a lot
many
of-
cool things, so many people,
Yeah.
so many cool people. Oh god, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited. I'm actually
I'm gonna
running
put-
3 games,
yeah.
which is gonna be nutso. Haven't run much of those in a while, especially on the 24. So I think it's 2 games on the 24, and then when's is the 28th our Halloween game?
Yes, 28th is a Halloween game. Yeah.
And then I'll be playing our spooky crazy encounter roleplay Halloween game on the 28th. So yeah.
Very exciting.
What else?
Oh, we got these new commands and stuff.
I would love to do
Exclamation
Return to
mark
Castle
roll.
Greyhawk.
Can you guys do the Return to Castle Greyhawk on a 24-hour stream? We could do it certainly on the next one. I mean, on this one we have everything planned out like 2 or 3 weeks before it actually happens because we need to organize very busy
Actually,
people.
I actually believe that's a goal on one of the donation things. Yeah,
I think it is. You can
£5.
suggest. Yeah, I think on
Suggest.
£5 you can suggest a game that we'll actually play on a 24-hour stream. So if anyone wants to do that, then for the next one we'll certainly do that. Or White Plume Mountain. Yeah, I mean we'll certainly take suggestions and stuff. There's also going to be a viewer game on a 24-hour stream. That's going to be the first slot of the day, which is 7 a.m. EST.
We have to raffle a slot as well.
We have to wrestle a slot for later. We'll figure out how to do that at some point. I'll do it in with the bot. We can talk about
Tomb
that.
of Horrors, yes, P-Farts. I fully endorse that recommendation.
I feel when the drive-through is taking so long that you put your car in the park and watch
That's
stream
awesome.
later. That feel.
It's because you ordered a cheeseburger with mayonnaise, and they're like, oh, now we gotta make the whole thing. That's why.
That happens here in England too.
Yep. Please pull
Yeah.
forward. Ah, shut up. This is fast food. That's why I showed up. That's why I showed up here, so I can get the food.
Yeah. But yeah. Seto is very annoyed with Alicia because she stole a kill. That's KSing. Do not KS me, bitch. And secondly, it was a dishonorable KS.
No, she didn't take
She
it
back
from you.
her head.
No, not the one that you were fighting.
Oh, is it not? I thought it was the one that
No,
was
no,
in
no,
my,
it was the other one.
Canopy.
No, it was the other one that I was looking at that was crawling out under the canopy.
Ah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's
when
good.
Cord did his Aladdin sort of entrance, there were 2 in front of him, and then 1 got smushed.
So she actually slid down and she didn't kill steal you. She killed steal
Ah.
me. Killed
Even worse.
Even worse.
KS, my friend. And the back of the head. That is so dishonorable. can't
If you
people
guys
just
have
do
any
things
questions
on it?
about Numenera or the game, just feel free to ask. This is a good time for us to answer any questions about Numenera, the setting, or our story in general.
Thus far, yeah. There was a great donation last week, I think, from Saving Throw Show. Last time we played 2 weeks ago. There was mention of I think we were just talking generally about all the different Numenera devices. So there's ciphers, there's artifacts,
yeah.
there's sort of different tiers of items. And then someone made a joke about a sandwich, a great sort of mythical sandwich artifact. And I said, pay the donation and it'll be a thing. I'll put it in. And so Saving Throw Show did. So you'll have to tune in. It may come tonight. It may not come tonight. But at some point before this campaign is done, the party of adventurers will encounter an artifact of tremendous power, phenomenal cosmic power. That is, in fact, a
Encounter sandwich.
Yeah,
Someone should make that their username. Encounter sandwich.
encounter sandwich. Yeah.
I believe it was Mythwitch, but that's fine.
Mythwitch. Yeah.
It's fine. I'm not
fine.
annoyed. It's fine.
It's
Call it whatever. It's fine. We'd have to label it. It's fine.
Everyone put labels on it. We're also doing. We're also guessing what are on the sticky notes in Beth's room. So that's also a fun game. If you donate, you get to be a sticky note on her room.
Encounter Arby's.
What does this even mean? But yeah, yeah, I'm really excited because I was
Numenera
trying
is
to make.
sweet.
I was trying to make Jekyll a like really cool like ranged character, but then I started killing people with this forearm blade, and I'm like, this is much cooler. Does very little damage, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was
That's-
surprised
well,
it
I mean,
didn't do
that's-
damage.
It does too.
The advantage
yeah.
of being a jack as well is that you can kind of fluctuate between roles a lot more easily, back and
That's
forth.
true. Yeah. Which I'm having a lot of fun with. I'm having a lot of fun with dipping into the pools and doing all that stuff. Obviously, I'm at 2 health in might and speed right now. So
Yeah, you rolled your recovery.
yeah, I rolled a 4.
Okay.
So I rolled
Cool.
a 3 and then +1.
Beth says, "I just spilled water everywhere. Start about me. She'll be there as soon as possible."
Okay.
Well, why don't you she snap her fingers and it could evaporate. Jeez.
Let's just we
Her one
murder.
weakness.
I murder her for KSing Jack Lee.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, dude, you don't have to
Just
worry about coming
lop
back.
her head. Lop her head off.
Don't come back.
And actually, I do want to say, I forgot to say, because Josh's character needs to inexplicably disappear and reappear. Conveniently, he travels through time without any control over it. So, while you guys are sort of like rushing towards the village, sort of along the shore of the unseen lake, Josh will have sort of like tripped on a stone and just like stumbled and been like, oh, and he fell forward and then just like disappeared as if he fell into the ground and then was just sort of gone.
Cool.
And he'll come back at an undisclosed time and location.
Nice.
Possibly next
Cool.
week.
So yeah, I guess I head over to where the Hearthstone tent thing item.
Yes, the Hearthstone itself, the best way to describe it sort of in modern terms is it's like an enormous shipping container. So it's like an extra sort of jumbo-sized shipping container. It's definitely metallic around the outside, giving off all of that heat. And the sort of the welding torch that the guy was using, that the Orgulian was using to sort of carve in, he did manage to carve a straight line about 9 feet up and down into the side of the shipping container. And you can feel way more concentrated heat coming just from that slit, like so much so that if you held your hand there long enough, it would probably sort of start to burn you slowly. So not only does the whole shipping container give off, the equivalent of sort of campfire's heat every few square inches, but it is in fact hollow and coming from the inside. That heat, something's inside causing that heat.
Cool.
What are you,
I
what are you
look
trying to say?
I think it's hot. Is what I'm
Got
it's
it.
like. It's really,
Heat,
really,
okay.
really.
From
It's
inwards.
like warm but worse.
so hot right now.
Coming from within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, myth live.
I turn around and look for Jack Lee because he seems to know about this. Jack Lee, where are you? Oh, I see you off there, like looking very injured, probably.
Yeah, I'm like breathing heavily and like looking over the bullet wounds and like trying really hard. I probably have some duct tape or like electrician's tape in my pack, and I'm like blotting. I'm using some of the cloth to like scrape some of the blood away from the wounds, and then taking the and ripping the duct tape and just making these really crude like coverings. Not even like
Are you-
bandages. I'm just like covering the soaking blood wound with duct tape and being like, that'll do it for now.
I have some field training.
Okay.
Not in any like
Nothing that'll
game
help,
ability
just-
related, but yeah. I previously snapped Naomi out of when she was like in shock.
Oh,
Yeah,
So,
anybody can make a first aid roll in this game. How it works is you can only be the recipient of first aid healing, sort of once per day kind of thing. And what it is the number of hit points that you want to return to the character to go to whichever pool they like. That determines the difficulty. So if you want to give them 2 HP, then that's a DC 2 intellect task. And then if you're trained in first aid, that would reduce it and that sort of thing. So it's a cool mechanic.
like that.
Yeah.
I'll go for a DC2 because my rolls are pretty atrocious. Let's see. Yeah, 13 was success.
Nice.
So yeah, you get 2 back. I come over and just tie like the bandages a bit tighter. Like he's like a strong guy, so he kind of rips them tight and really gets them like braced to you.
Yeah. Well, you probably
should
take like the tape off, and then you put gauze there, and then you use the tape. to actually
Yeah,
stick
that's
the
it.
gauze
Yeah.
on. Oh, you did this all wrong. All right.
Yeah.
It's like when your dad ties your skates really tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
oh man.
bad.
Or is that
Canadian
just
problems.
a Canadian reference?
No,
Yeah.
that's actually a Vermont reference as well. That's always, yeah. But that was always the best because that's the only way you knew how skates were tied when you were a kid is when Daddy
So
does
you,
it.
so you know you're not going to break your ankle.
Exactly.
Just
Hashtag
lose some toes.
Just
Hashtag Daddy
Canada.
issues. Right, but-
Daddy issues.
Yeah.
So, uh,
Cool. So Beth, did you hear the part about the Hearthstone being super hot?
All I got was Cord sticking
within.
himself back together with duct tape.
Okay. So they're sort of patching up Cord. Elijah has sort of gone off with the hostages. You guys have sort of a moment before any of the Stork people come back. You can see that the front wall of the Hearthstone, which I described to Will as sort of being a jumbo-sized shipping container, it's sort of metal walls. The Orgulians did manage to carve about an 8-foot line, just like a slit right down it. So it is in fact hollow, sort of punctured right through it. And you can feel even more heat coming from inside of it if you sort of hold your hand in front of that slit. Then it's this is getting way more sexual than I'd intended. But yeah, it's really warm
slit.
inside. And there's something inside that's causing a lot of heat that's sort of coming out of where they've tried to carve their way in.
not getting worse.
Fair enough.
I pushed my sword inside.
Frosted.
17 inches
Repeatedly.
frost.
That
Repeatedly.
frost though.
Yeah. I use frost.
Yeah, so I guess Alicia, you can do whatever you like because those two fellas are patching each other up. So
I
what I
am
did.
going to go with the hostages.
okay. So
And-
Elijah is sort of leading them, so you can sort of be behind them if that makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. Yep. So he's leading them sort of around back to where there's that sort of group of elders. The body that Seto decapitated is no longer there. They've moved it, but sort of back in that same area near the edge of the village is where they're bringing them. And Elijah begins to have another conversation with some of the elders. Actually, and at this point, you can see just on the sort of the furthest outskirt of where the last sort of building would be in this village, probably like 50 feet from you now.
My
You can
face
see
one-
the other,
Sorry.
Beth. You can see Naomi and Jacob and two of the remaining pilgrims who were with you at the camp on the lake. They're like rushing towards this village. So the two remaining pilgrims are carrying Naomi, and then Jacob is sort of running ahead with them as well.
I'm going to run up to Naomi and see if she's still got Billy.
Yep, she's got him.
In that case, I take Billy and I give him a big hug.
I see Naomi.
No, so Beth went off with
Oh,
Elijah
sorry.
and hostages.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
and you two are still at the great heat exuding slit. And I apologize for that.
What were you
Beth,
thinking
you
of when you
notice-
were writing this, Mitch? What were you-
I don't know. It was a long weekend.
Very lonely.
Beth, you see that Jacob's the back of his cloak has got a big sort of gash across it that's sort of torn open, and you
Big
see that
gash.
he has some kind of, oh my god, another fucking gash. he's been attacked with some kind of weapon across the back.
Just
But-
look behind you, Mitch. Just look behind you.
Yeah, Spartacus. is
Yeah, there you
yeah.
go. No words.
Cat's called Spartacus. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's because his little helmet. Anyways, Jacob
Helmet.
was attacked, so they are coming from the edge of the unseen lake because they were attacked to some degree. But underneath Jacob's cloak, you can see that he has sort of strange, sort of protruding bone structures all across his back. So he doesn't seem to have suffered any kind of wound.
Turtle.
It's so fun playing with viewer decisions. It's just so weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's just
isn't it
like
awesome?
there's not like some big quest about why he's a turtle. It's just like, yeah, he's a turtle.
Just is.
He is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yep. So they are sort of rushing in. You go right to Billy, I suppose, and Naomi sort of not doing so well traveling. She seems to be sweating again. You can see some blood coming out of her bandages from having been moved so roughly. But we'll cut back to Jekli and Seto at
So-
the Great Hearthstone.
When I said my face went earlier, I actually plugged in the coffee maker and not the crock pot. So 3 hours from now is when I will
Oh.
have dinner. So that's so annoying.
Just make
Anyway.
a sandwich.
Yep, that
Just
sucks.
make a sandwich. The great
Uh,
sandwich.
The great sandwich. So yeah, he's probably done patching up, and he's gonna try to, I guess, limp over towards the Hearthstone.
Yep.
Slowly but dramatically, he like tries to hold out his hand as if he's trying to like calm it down, as if it was like a big beast, like rearing up to eat him. He's just trying to like calm himself or calm the machine, or whatever it is the Hearthstone is, and he wants to try to get some sort of read on the machine.
You can sense that the sort of machine components of the Hearthstone are coming from its corners. So it's 8 corners. So the 2 that are sort of at the ground and the 2 sort of at the ceiling of this rectangle.
So there's the machines in the corners.
Yeah, there seem to be machines in each of the 8 corners of this rectangular box.
I've never seen a
One of each.
gash like this.
There's one machine.
Yeah, there's
each, or
one
is it all
machine.
one, or is it all one?
They seem to
Connected.
be all sort of networked together, but they're distinct sort of mechanisms.
Okay. What is the networking? Can I sense that? Is it like information?
You know that they're all
Is
sort of-
It's
it
USB.
power? Is it USB?
No, you can tell that they're all sort of working off of the same sort of power generation, but beyond that, not too much, given that you're still sort of outside of this thing.
Okay. How hot is it?
If you were to try and pry it, for instance,
Or is it like? Can I get a read of electricity? Like, is it being heated from a heat source, or is it like electrical heat?
the
makes
heat is
sense.
definitely being generated from the corners. So if you were to sort of walk around and sense, you could tell that the corners are the hottest parts.
Okay, so it's got to be something to do with those corner machines.
puts
Can
2
I
fingers into
disable
test
one
the
of them?
You can't see any of the machines at the moment
Okay.
because they're all inside the metal box.
What is it, Jackie?
It seems like I'm still trying to figure that out, but the heat is being radiated from what looks like the corners. There are machines within, and they seem to be networked to some sort of generator heating this cube, this Hearthstone.
Do not understand a word you said. I will be on watch. And I turn and
It seems like our worlds collided just then.
I turn and off to probably head off in the direction where I saw like Elijah and Outlook go.
Sure.
So there's like this giant sparky weldy cleaver that this thing was
Yep.
carrying.
That's just on the ground.
Cool.
And I'm glad you remembered.
Yep, I'm going to take it. I'm going to be like, well, this is for me, and he's just gonna probably put it on his bag, or like somehow like rope it, and just put it over his shoulder.
Sure.
But then he's gonna continue trying to figure out what this thing is. So inside this giant
Yeah, I mean you're not
metallic
going to
cube-
get much of a better sense. There's no light
Yeah.
coming from the inside, so it's dark inside, and you're not going to know much better what it is that's working or how it's working unless you get inside.
Just put the tip in.
Yeah, he's gonna I guess start up that welding cleaver and just go,
Sure.
well, we should probably get in. Anybody opposed?
Well, you're standing by yourself right now, so
And then he goes he starts it up.
fires it up. Okay, so while you're welding away, we'll cut to Seto meeting up with Alicia and Naomi and the others, seeing that they've sort of rushed in. And Seto, you can sort of be coming in just as Naomi's explaining to Alicia, and we'll roleplay this out a bit. So Alicia, you've just sort of grabbed at Billy, and Naomi's trying to explain to you while Jacob is explaining to Elijah what had happened. But Naomi just sort of says that about 10, 20 minutes after you left, two more of them came by, and we didn't know what to do, and Brandon's back. Brandon was shot. She's kind of distressed, and again, always keeping her eyes down, can't really look up. But it sounds like 2 more of these Orgulians attacked while they were over at the camp.
Where are these creatures now?
Jacob killed one, and the other, something from the lake came and took it.
Is it dead?
I don't know, but the thing from the lake took it in its mouth and dragged it under and swam off. So it's not stabbable, I guess, is the vibe you're getting.
Gotcha. Always phrasing. Yeah, I nod and I say, I am sorry I left.
She again does the sort of very passive looking up at you, just a little bit, makes a bit of eye contact and says, "It's fine. You were helping these people. They're all right. The creatures are gone."
Yes, we killed them. And now Jekyll is looking at the Hearthstone.
She sort of just looks down and says, she just wants this all to be over. She wants to get back to the farm."
Yes, when we return to the farm, we will free you and bring this man Ulrich to justice.
She'll again sort of start muttering to herself, "Oh no, he's not that bad of a man. He feeds us well." So she goes through her diatribe that she gave you before, that he's the sort of benevolent slave owner.
Yeah, I'll just kind of maintain blank eye contact.
Elijah's gonna turn with Jacob to you, Alicia, and just sort of ask, are there any more of those creatures still alive, still standing over by the Hearthstone?
Not that I know of.
No, I killed them all.
And your friend, the smaller one, was he all right? Did he make it out?
He lives. I have bandaged him, but he will need rest.
He sort of looks left and right and asks, where did he end up? Is he that seriously wounded?
I expect he is within the contraption at this point.
Elijah's eyes.
Splash cut to Jekyll like exploding as he walks into the
Right.
I think that Elijah
Like
did
I'm
not
in.
want to open. Elijah's eyes are sort of open wide, and he sort of sprints in the other direction. But we will cut to Cord, who has carved his way in. Cord, when you open up the
Probably whole
Hearthstone,
time he's going to be trying to communicate with it, because he believes he can talk with machines, and he's just like, "Hello, it's all right. Just let me in." He starts sweet talking it real nice, like, "It's not gonna hurt."
yeah. Well, you want to buy dinner before you
No.
blowtorch your way into the crevice.
where he goes straight for a blowtorch.
So as you start to open up this shipping container-like object, you sort of enter into it, and it's
Feels great.
like I said, it's not lit at all. There's no light. The only 4 active machines you sense, the 8 active machines are the ones in the corners. So there's the 4 sort of on the face that you're entering, and the 4 on the far end of this sort of long rectangular vessel of sorts. So those 4 machines close to you, the 4 on the other end, are humming. They're sort of nodules affixed into corners that are generating this heat. It's probably close to 200, 300 degrees inside, so you won't be able to spend too long in here before you'd start to sort of slowly cook. But those engines are what's generating all this heat. Otherwise, the best that you can see from the amount of light that you have is it's just sort of dawn now at this point. And that most of the canopy outside of this courtyard is sort of collapsed, so there's a decent amount of light coming through. You're sort of looking into this long sort of rectangular corridor, and it seems to be some type of working area. There's a number of tables, there's a number of contraptions and devices, sort of glass cylinders, sort of winding tubes of glass, lots of sort of wiring and things that aren't sort of hooked up or active. Sort of in modern terms, it looks like a fairly intense sort of chemistry lab. There's a number of storage units on either side, sort of on the left and the right, the long sides of this container. Most of them are sealed. Most of them made out of what looks like some kind of synthetic rather than metal. They're all sealed and closed, and yeah, so there's just quite a lot of stuff. It probably goes 65 feet in length, so quite a long container, but it's some type of laboratory inside of here.
Cool. Thank you, Endor Fiend, for following. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You're a gentleman and a scholar of the highest order.
Also, thank you, Retrosphere, for donating one. Was it one? Did you just donate? Crap. Thank you for donating. I thought Will was gonna call it, but
I didn't see it.
oh yeah, he says sorry, Cord. Next roll is. What did you do? What did he donate?
I'm sure it's not 20.
Yeah, five quid. Thank you so much.
Hey!
Also,
Bunch
no
of quids.
thank you. He says the next roll is going to be a crit fail.
Crit fail next roll. Bible
All
thump.
Bye, Jackie. All right, so this place it's like a chemistry thing, right?
Looks like some kind of lab, yeah.
And
You
there's
see,
just
like,
machines
the-
humming in
see
the
those-
corners.
Yeah, so there's a number of machines that aren't active in the lab. So there's one of those, and again, this is coming from someone who doesn't have a science degree. One of those like machines that like spins the tubes around really fast to like separate the stuff in the tubes. So there's a number of machines like that, lots of equipment and contraptions and things, but none of them are active or have any power. The only ones that seem to have stayed on were the 8 affixed sort of heat nodules in the corner that were keeping this thing at a certain temperature.
But other than that, there's a chemistry set, or it's like it's. Explain that
It's
machine
full
one more
of-
time.
full- It's just
uh,
sort of full of chemistry equipment. There's a number of storage units left and right on either side. There's, I'll say, a few storage units that look more intensive than just like a cupboard for like storing equipment. So it looks like there's a couple of sort of freezer-like structures that would be sort of more sealed or more sort of temperately sort of enclosed for storing different things as well.
Okay.
Lots of different vials that have liquids in them, so there's lots to poke around.
I'm gonna head over to one of the storage containers. Is it like a metal storage container? Or what?
No, they're all made of sort of a weird like synthetic rubber type material.
Okay. Hello. He's gonna say out loud, and try to communicate with.
Centrifuge. Thank you, Retrosphere. It's a centrifuge,
Hey, shout.
Nice.
the machine that does the spinning parting stuff.
Centrifugal
Ah,
stuff.
yes, because he works at a vet's office, so he knows lab equipment. Awesome.
Cool.
I was like, nice, Drew. So yeah, centrifuge. Okay. Can I turn off
Actually,
the
start
centrifuge?
off. No, it's not on. It's not humming. The only things that are on are the sort of heat things, keeping this room at a certain temperature. But if you give me a perception check, I can give you some specific prompts as to
I crit
things
fail.
that pique your interest. Actually, we'll let Retrosphere choose. Retrosphere, do you want him to crit fail? Actually, I'll just say it. No, it'll be more fun if you crit fail on your interaction with the things
Okay,
rather
okay.
than what things you find.
Okay. More of like, all right, interaction stuff.
Yeah.
rather
So,
than-
yeah, give me a DC 3 perception.
you got it. Success.
Cool.
17.
So the highlight pieces are the biggest things that you notice. You find one of the storage cabinets that's on the side, made of this sort of rubber synthetic material. There's one of those that's full of sort of mixed personal effects. So you find a couple of backpacks. You find sort of strange leather envelope that has a bunch of paper in it and some plastics. Find lots of different sort of personal effects. We'll roll some ciphers for you in there as well, but again, there are strange contraptions and devices in this storage locker. The other main thing that you notice, there's two more sort of objects that pique your interest. One is some type of hub or screen kind of monitor that's attached to a bit of a tower. Again, that's not active right now, but it seems to be not only mechanical, but sort of computer-esque or have sort of digital technologies in it as well. And then the third thing you find is one of these large sort of freezers. again, sort of using the term roughly, given that it's about the temperature of an oven in here, maybe a crock pot. It's like a crock pot in here. And so it's just a storage unit that is sealed from the outside, is sort of very tightly sealed with sort of like a weathered rubber strip around what would be sort of a top opening latch.
Okay, I'm going to. There was something that you mentioned. Yeah, I'm going to try to unlatch it.
And then there's also the nodules. There's also the nodules in the corner as well.
Yeah. I don't want to interrupt that because there's a rubber strap. You said.
Yeah, so think like there's a big storage cabinet that's vertical that is not really that sealed very well, that's filled with personal effects. Then there's a horizontal storage unit made of a similar kind of synthetic rubber that's very tightly sealed. There's like 4 clasps that you have to unhinge before it'll be able to open.
I'm going to go through the personal effects first. See if I can get any data on what may or may not be inside this other casket of ice or of heat, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm going to go through that / get a new cipher.
Okay, so before we do the cipher, you'll find lots of pieces of paper, and again, these strange plastic cards that have writing in a language that you don't understand. You also find a decent amount of sort of rubberized clothing, similar to what the storage closet was made out of. So you find pairs of like shoulder-length gloves, you find sort of like a headpiece. So there's all different sort of equipment for actually wearing and donning this sort of rubberized gear as well.
Okay. He's going to probably don some of the, as he finds it, he's going to don the rubberized gloves and not the helmet.
Okay.
But everything else he's going to put on.
Okay.
I feel like I know where this is going.
So you just like put on the overalls and
Yeah.
the gloves. All
Yeah,
right.
because he's really curious about technology and about the world that he doesn't know, and he's definitely wants to find out what's going on, what's inside this thing, why is it so powerful, why is it radiating this heat? Is it hot inside here?
Yeah, like it's like
yeah.
you're in an oven. It's like 250 degrees in there.
All right, so yeah, I'm starting to put some of that rubberized stuff on. Hopefully that'll bring down my body temperature. And then
You can roll for one cipher if you like. Yeah.
So it's a D20 and a D100.
Yeah.
Okay. D20, D100. So that was an
Gotta
8
go-
and a 75.
You gotta go deeper.
Must go deeper. That must go deeper.
Okay. 8 and what?
Not-
Sorry.
not just
8
the
and
tip, or
75.
17. Oh, 17
Okay.
inches.
17, 72. It's probably an awesome one. If you roll 2 17s on a cipher.
That would probably be the best roll ever.
So
Okay. You find a glass tube that has a sort of plastic casing kind of around it, sort of built just kind of like a frame around it. So there is exposed glass, but there's sort of a frame on either side with a sort of compressor button on the one end and then a metallic needle on the other. But yeah, you're going to have to identify that to know what it does. So you basically find some kind of like syringe /
yeah, looks
like
like
EpiPen.
like a syringe gun or something, like a little like
Yeah.
stim gun. All right, cool, weird.
Yeah. So you can roll a Numenera knowledge to know what it does.
Try to see. Okay.
Human knowledge.
Newman knowledge. So what's the
It'll
difficulty?
be a DC 4 intellect, and if you're trained in Numenera, that would help.
I critically fail.
Actually,
I have a headache.
whether you had rolled that or not, I don't want to waste. There was a paid crit fail that I'm not going to use yet because you just rolled one.
Yeah, 'cause I
so we'll
rolled a
use this
crit
crit
fail.
fail, and there's going to be another one. Yeah. So this crit fail, you are going to, in the process of sort of looking at this syringe and turning it around
myself.
and flipping it upside down. No, because that would be good, because that would activate the cipher.
Well, it could have been.
you're gonna kind of like accidentally like push the button, and it's just gonna like shoot out all this metallic goo, and that's just perfect for where you are right now.
Great.
You get some in your hair.
Yeah, I got some in my hair.
Yeah. So you're gonna activate the cipher by accident, and it's just gonna sort of get on your hair and your
So
boots,
I don't have.
and so now it's useless. It's expended.
Great. Wonderful. Right. Wow. I try to lick it from my fingers. All right. So the oh boy. All right. So I guess I'm gonna probably just toss over my shoulder and then wipe my hands
Whip.
on my whatever, and then probably just try to get into this start unlatching this thing, and still trying
Sure.
to telepathically trying to communicate with anything that's inside, if there are machines inside this weird casket looking thing.
Okay, we'll turn to Seto and Alicia. Would you have followed Elijah as he sprinted in terror towards the Hearthstone?
Yeah. He does this a lot.
Quite probably. I would have just kind of looked around at everyone else. Saw Elijah sprinting and gone, oh, for fuck's sake, after kind of clicking on what Seto said and then legging it.
Okay, so you guys sprint after. So we'll say, again, for cinematic effect, you guys can enter or at least be at the threshold of the Hearthstone as you see Jekli now wearing a rubberized set of overalls and big rubber gloves,
Wearing a latex.
clasping just as he's opening this chest or this storage compartment.
Oh, so you put on the suit I bought you.
Always play safe, kids. And the storage unit, sorry, I'm very tired today. I apologize to anyone in stream. The storage unit's going to sort of hiss a little bit as he finally breaks the seal and opens it up. And mist and sort of steam is going to come out from the sides. And no one else is going to see what's inside of it except for Jekli, who's standing right there. Jekli, you're going to see rows and rows of little glass vials. And they all have a sort of deep green liquid in them.
Oh dear.
Well. Okay, he's gonna seal it and probably latch it back. Now he knows what's in there, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't know anything about chemistry and biology and all that stuff, so he's just like, "This isn't for me." And he's gonna continue searching, or he's gonna hang out. Actually, he's gonna leave the Hearthstone.
Well, so
and-
there's still like the dead computer. It's not sort of active, but like you were able to see and identify that it was there. But Alicia and Seto, how do you respond to this chemistry lab that was inside what, for all you guys knew, was a solid object?
Oh. I kind of shrugged my shoulders. This is odd.
Elisa kind
There
of
are
looks
things
in
here.
Yes.
and she's just like, nope, this is well out of my league, and walks straight back out again.
Okay.
I like grab her shoulder and say, look after Naomi. There may be more of those things.
And she nods and walks away and clicks her fingers as she walks out and bursts into flames.
I turn back to look at what Jekli's doing. Jekli, this man appears to be worried about what you're doing.
Yeah, Jekli, as you close the freezer, Elijah's going to sort of step forward and sort of open it again quickly behind you to see what was in it. And again, he's sort of in a panic state at this point. And he's going to open it up, and he's going to pull out a small, what I guess kind of looks like just a pane of glass, but it has, like on each of the four corners, there's a different colored sticker, where it looks like a sticker. There's just a little circle of different colors. He's going to hold out that pane of glass and start sort of pushing different combinations of those colored buttons while holding that pane of glass over or in front of one of the vials.
This is no
So
time
he's sort
for
of, again, in this kind of, he's in sort of a frantic state, pushing these buttons to sort of see, confirming or not confirming what he may have suspected, as you guys are otherwise inside the Hearthstone.
Okay. I kind of like I step in, kind of just looking at all these things. I have no idea what any of them do. I kind of like tinker with them, press a few things.
Roll me a d20 and a d100.
Cool.
And then give it to me.
Roll d20, 4, and the 100 is 37.
Okay. Just gotta find it here.
All right.
It's a pretty good dungeon run we got going.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Will, you find just on one of the sort of countertops.
Oh, all right. We lost Beth. Oh, what?
Did we?
Sure, I'll try and get back in.
All right. Continue. I'll figure it out.
No worries. So Will, you find a ceramic disc that's sort of hollow, so it's kind of like shaped like a donut. On the one side, it seems to have some kind of hand grips or sort of the little ridges for your fingers to grab onto. And then there's a button on it as well.
Jackley.
You would need to do some kind of identification to know what this does.
Jackley, what is this? I'll go and show it
Oh,
to.
yeah.
I put it in a pouch
It's
somewhere.
Numenera, not a machine, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, either of you can make just a generic knowledge check. If you're not trained in Numenera, you just won't really know, or you won't have assets or that sort of stuff. So this will be a difficulty 5 intelligence.
I'll give it a roll. Let's see, difficulty 5. Most likely I won't have any idea what this thing is, but yeah, 0 successes.
All right, and Jackley?
Just 1 sec, fixing cams.
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
She says she'll be back in a second here, and since it's dead.
Actually, Jackley, don't roll.
okay.
Is Ratrosphere still in stream?
I think so. Yeah, he just played the dungeon.
Okay, so this is going to be your Nat 1 imposed by Ratrosphere. Jackley, I need you to roll a D100.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
D100. You guys can play along too, not just Ratrosphere. Just go down to the donation page and you can play along and screw with us, or screw with Delinear as well. D100.
Yeah, this is going to be a big time. Okay, 45.
That's how much damage I took.
Wow. Okay. All right.
That's never good
So-
when a DM does that.
Like, how do I describe
that's
this in a way that
2 hours into Numenera and chill, and he gives you this look.
Numenera and Chill. Numenera and Chill.
Okay, so Will found, or Seto found, a sort of ceramic donut that had a handle on the one side with a button, and he gave it to Jackley. And Jackley said, "Oh, I'm sure I can figure out what that does." And for the second time in a span of about 3 minutes, he activates a cipher without realizing it.
Good.
When you push this button just a little bit too hard, the sort of disc portion that sticks out of, or the donut portion that sticks out of the handle, sort of shoots out of, sort of launches forward, crashes into the wall beside you, and explodes. It explodes with a gas, sort of poisonous cloud, filling
goodness,
everything
you
within
said poison.
60 feet. Well, actually, your roll was the type of gas. So on a 45, it's corrosive. So everything within a 60-foot radius suffers 5 damage to their might pool in corrosive damage that just eats into them, and that includes inanimate objects as well. And to really get the most out of Retrosphere's donation, because we always appreciate the donations, I'm going to say, and Jackley and Seto can both take an extra XP for this.
Hey.
Thank God.
It does
Yeah,
enough
XP.
corrosive damage.
Worth.
Does enough corrosive damage to the nearest heat nodule that's affixed to the corner. Does enough damage to that heat nodule explodes,
Okay, I'm gonna
dealing another.
reactivate it.
It does another 3 damage to both of you that are inside.
Oh,
Back
down
down
to
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 where I was.
the
Exactly
the
down
might
to where I
pool.
was.
oh.
And at this Elijah is going to sort of slam shut the freezer at the sort of the sound of the explosion. He took some of the mite damage, or so the corrosive damage, and sort of threw himself to the ground, so he didn't take quite as much from the explosion. But that just caused a bit of a mess in this laboratory.
Bit of a mess.
I'm impaired right now. I think I've been impaired this whole.
Yeah. So
game.
what are your describe your experiences as that happens? Not just your reactions, but sort of describe what that was like for you folks and what you may have done in response.
Yeah, I guess like as soon as this stuff comes down, like you kept the ground, but still covered in this like corrosive stuff, was just eating away at my skin, and then everything explodes, and I'm
I'm wearing
sent backwards.
rubberized stuff. Do I take the damage? I'm wearing like hazmat suit.
I'll say you can take half of the corrosive damage, but full explosive damage.
So it's 3. All right,
So you can
how
round
much
it down.
damage
So
do I
you'll take 5 total.
Oh my
5
god, that's
total.
much more than I thought it was. All right, that sucks. All right, so yeah, that brings me down to.
Oh wait, I have armor.
I'm unconscious.
I always forget about armor.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Jeckley's unconscious.
Well, Jeckley hits the disc and it flies and explodes, and then he probably like looks up because the machine exploded, and then inhaled and he gasped, and as he did that, he the condom suit, exactly, helping hand. Speaking of helping hand, he probably gasped, and as he's gasping, he inhales a huge cloud of this corrosive energy, and he starts coughing, and then he just faints from his, and just kind of he
I'm not gonna
asphyxiates himself.
repeat what P Farts said in chat, but yeah, that's there. That's real. But yeah, so Seto, you sort of dive to the ground to try and take as little damage as possible. This seriously hurts. Then there's an explosion. Beth will say, like, as you're not even 50 feet away from this box, you hear like a sort of hissing crash and then an explosion. So you can respond to that how you will. And Seto, when you turn, you see Jeckley just lying on the ground, unconscious.
Is there still this gas in the room, or is it kind of dissipated?
He's laying on the ground
Think of it as
coughing.
sort of it was just sort of like compressed liquid,
Yeah,
so
and-
just like sprayed everything once.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of get myself off the ground, and all this stuff was just burning away at my skin. I'm like, yeah, I just get myself off real quick over your body, and then I leave. No.
Mythomatic has already, or Jeckley has already received first aid healing today, so that is not an option.
Oh, thank you, Goat Sleeve, for being welcome to the adventure. Oh god,
Can
yeah,
be
I look.
maybe an option if you guys help me out in chat. I'm looking at you guys. Scroll down to the donation page.
Pay to
We'll
live.
turn to Elysia
Pay to win.
when you hear the explosion.
Oh, one quick question, Mitch. Is Elijah conscious?
Conscious,
Conscious.
wounded from the acid, not from the explosion.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Beth.
So as she's running out, or jogging more than running, so she kind of hears the explosion and she just kind of turns around. And what does she see as she turns around and looks at the
Yeah, so as you look
Hearthstone?
into the opening, there's just sort of the little doorway that Jeckley had sort of carved open. In that doorway, you can see like Jeckley's boot. Jeckley's
Looks like a
clearly like
sideways
prostrate.
eye.
Stop. Jeckley is clearly prostrate, sort of on the ground and not moving, because you can see his boot and part of his leg. There's like scorch marks, and he's kind of smoking and sizzling a little bit. You can maybe see Seto sort of propped on an elbow. So something just blew up in there. There's a lot of sort of smoke wisping around, but you also hear a strange hissing.
I want to run back over and grab Jeckley's ankle and pull him out.
Okay, he's very badly burned from both fire as well as the corrosive spray that managed
Just
to
a
hit him sort
flesh
of in the
wound.
face.
Do I remember rightly, you said something about some people believing the water from the lake has medicinal purposes?
Yep.
Or am I just making that up?
No,
How
you don't do
far is it from where we are to the lake?
Meth coming.
that. If you were to sort of run there and run back, it would probably be about 30 minutes.
In that case, Did any of the jars that we filled up come with us when Naomi and that came, or was it just a mad rush to get away from the scary things?
You can spend an XP to have however many
I'm
jars
going
you
to
like.
spend XP to have a couple of jars with us and
Sure.
make Jekyll drink them. Or drink one of them and then pour one of them over his burns.
Okay.
Just to, cover all
say,
bases.
The one that you pour over his burns, it immediately causes the sort of the sizzling to sort of stop, and the redness immediately goes down a little bit. It's not enough to sort of wake him up, but it's stabilizing in a big way, or it does seem to cleanse gently. Cleansing gently the Jekyll.
Nice.
Anything from the one he drinks or the one I pour down his throat and hope he doesn't drown?
It drowns in the water.
No, it does sort of. You maybe are able to get him to swallow a little bit, but not much. He is still unconscious. So it doesn't quite function like a potion, but it does seem to have sort of like antibacterial or anti-inflammatory kind of.
Okay, I'm just
Think of
going to
like-
kind of
think
give
of it
up
like-
on making him drink it and pour the rest over his burns then.
Sure.
At this point, I'm staggering upwards. Come out of the.
Scarred Star
Play.
donates
Hey.
1 quid, 1.03 quid. It says
Of course he does.
the acid, some of the acid reacts very badly to water.
Sure, that's fine with
Probably
me.
the
I
Oh,
So,
tried to
water.
help, Lord.
Well-
I tried to help.
Well memed.
so I will say,
That's awesome.
Beth, this is one of the most active chat games we've had in a while. So Beth, you sort of pour some of the water over some of the wounds, and some of the flame wounds from the exploding heat nodule. The water responds well and seems to help. But there was sort of we'll say around sort of Cord's neck was where some of the acid spray got in, just sort of above his rubber suit. So the
You're rubbing your
corrosive.
microphone.
Oh, some of the. So like we'll say there's like sort of burns on him from the exploding nodule, and the water helps with that. But then the corrosive acid that sort of we'll say pooled around his neck because it's sort of just at the top of the rubber suit. When you pour it on there, it seems to sizzle worse. So Cord, you're going to take an extra 3 damage,
Nice.
and it's going to go into whatever pool you have left.
Some intelligence. I'm starting to get down.
If people keep donating, he will die. Because when his intelligence gets to 0, he's just straight dead. Cord, how much intelligence do you have right now?
I'm at 10.
He's at 10.
Nice.
See, I have an idea, but it's going to cause him more damage than I think it will heal, so I don't know whether to do it.
You want to put him in the lake. Just...
No, I was thinking more along the lines of reburning the skin around his neck so they're then fire burns rather
yes,
than the acid
burn.
burns and healing through that
What is that
with the
logic?
water, but I don't think it'll work.
You have medical
Can I
training,
spend my
don't you,
last
Beth?
XP to make that work?
So what is it you're trying to do?
Burn him some
Basically,
more.
reburn the skin around his neck that's been burnt from the acid, and like with my flames, so they're then fire burns, so I can fix it with the water.
Yeah, so you're trying to like burn off the acid sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or any resistance.
And then
that you don't
put-
need. You don't need to spend an XP. That can totally work, but it's gonna hurt Cord.
Yeah, you're cauterizing the wound. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna be doing
how
damage
much?
to me.
That's
but...
what I wonder. Is it gonna be?
Fight
Is
fire
it
with
gonna-
fire.
You can roll a d6 to find out how much,
Oh, good.
How about a D10?
but you have to declare.
How about a
declare whether
D10?
you're
Yeah, how
doing
about a
it.
D10?
Let's make it a d10. Okay.
Stakes are high, boys.
Do you want me to, Cord? Do you want
Yeah,
me
yeah,
to
roll a
risk it?
D10. This will be fun.
Actually, Cord's unconscious. He can't speak.
Yeah, he's
right
not-
now.
Oh, that's
There's no
right, I can't speak.
help with this decision.
This one's for Poya.
If this kills you, I'm very sorry, Cord.
It's only 10%.
Scarred Star donates another 1.03 pounds. Oh no, suit sets on fire. So that means probably roll the D10.
Yeah. So okay. So this I'm gonna try as best I can to like not kill Cord. So roll the d10.
6.
All right, that would have been max.
Okay. The suit catching on fire in the process. is going to deal 3 damage. So Cord, you're taking 9 damage. So you're at 1, and now
Yep.
Seto and Elysia have to get you out of that suit as fast as they can.
I'm just
or
watching.
whatever those
I'm just watching him
Melting
explode
rubber.
over and over. It's just like every
Just
couple of
put
seconds I
bodies
look back
down.
and oh.
At
What's
this,
gonna be-
Elijah's just in the background at this point. Elijah's sort of stumbling out as well on all fours, similar to Seto, and he's sort of coughing up. He seemed to have inhaled some of this acid. So
Yeah, I immediately I pull out a dagger and I cut down the suit to rip it off, being careful not to stab my friend as I do so.
Rastrosphere donates £3. It
I'm
works!
gonna do the same.
Exclamation point.
okay, we have to
I'm
honor
gonna
these
do the same
donations.
and just cut through and rip the fabric away from his
He says I
burning
was
body.
way late, so whatever works now.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I think it was.
So
probably that
I will
burning.
say that, yeah, the burning can definitely do it. So, but again, you guys just think he's unconscious. You don't necessarily know that he's dead. You haven't checked his pulse. So, Beth, how this works is you sort of put your hands around his neck and try to in a controlled manner, cauterize the wounds around his neck as best you can. Unknowingly, you sort of ignite the sort of inner lining of the rubberized sort of controlled suit, and that sort of burns him severely. And then Seto, you come over and try and sort of slice the suit open, but he's already sort of burned almost all the way down to sort of his midriff. He's already been sort of scorched all the way
It's
down.
Highly scarred.
Anakin levels of
Yeah.
cool.
You underestimate
Um,
my power.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what do we do?
I knew going into this thing alone
And-
was just gonna be bad.
Do you
I
have
really like that you put on the suit though. You're like, oh, this could be dangerous. I got to put on some gloves.
Yeah, exactly.
I pour the remaining water over the burns we've revealed that I might set on fire. And
Okay.
just kind of
Again, they cause the sort of swelling and crackling to sort of slow down substantially, but otherwise, still pretty serious burns.
By killing the
God.
it
creatures
didn't
that
go
are
as planned,
mechanically,
Cord. I'm sorry.
are
I mean, I haven't
mechanically
got-
assisted are actually what Jekyll is turning into. I've been disabling
I don't-
these mechanics, but now he's actually probably gonna need them.
I'm gonna run into the place and grabbing some vials and potions. Maybe what Seto's maybe one of these reverses. They're I don't know, and grabs a vial
Another. No, sorry. Like another cipher.
yeah. And I just pour a little bit onto my finger to see if it burns me or kills me.
Okay, as you're grabbing a vial, Elijah is going to sort of cough and aggressively just shout at you don't open that! Do not open those!
Why?
So he's just saying. He's going to say it'll kill us all, to be as hyperbolic as possible.
What about this one? What about now? Okay, I put him down again. Any better ideas?
You can so he's just saying no to the vials. If you want to try and fish for another cipher that you don't know what it is and try and point it
Yeah.
at Cord.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
D20 and a D100.
He turned me to stone for 24 hours.
Yep.
So Cord, unless my math's wrong, you're dead.
No, I have one hit point.
Not at one, you're. But then didn't Retrosphere donate again?
No, he said it worked.
I
so
want to
think he's helping
recognize
me.
each one of his donations, subsequent.
I think Ratch was helping on that last one.
No,
I think he wanted
he
the.
helped that last one.
The last
Oh,
one said
okay.
it worked.
It being.
We're gonna have
Uh,
clarification from
My
him.
The
weird plan.
I think it was the
Yeah,
extra
just let's-
burning thing.
I think because it was a threshold of 1 HP and Retrosphere's donated so much tonight, I think
It was
I'd like to
helping, he
just
says.
defer to him. It was helping. Okay, so he doesn't die.
Cool.
So you're at 1. Although that may change because Will, what did you roll for
Yeah,
your
A
cipher?
9 and a 33. Well, I feel like the longer I wait, it's only a matter of time before someone donates to kill you.
That's true.
Okay. I'm gonna miss this game when the campaign is done.
Once I've murdered you all.
That's why there'll be season 2.
Okay, Will, you find
Oh god.
I watched a bunch of people play Numenera, and they're really good at describing things without using like words of modern technology, but I'm way too tired for this.
Okay.
You
I will
find
forgive you.
what looks like as we would understand to be like a video camcorder from the 90s that like uses cassettes.
This will help.
Yeah, something like that, but it's just maybe just more elongated. So rather than just being like it's like 17 inches now, I think would probably be a
That
safe.
makes sense.
It
It's a donger
elongated to
size.
17 inches. Perfect.
I'm just using a reference that you're
I'm
familiar
very intimately familiar with, as is Sydney. Cool.
Good, good.
You can make a knowledge check to know what it does, but the knowledge DC is a 6 on this one.
Okay, I'll roll it, because why not? Nope,
You can
no.
spend intelligence if you want to. Okay. Or
I
you can
mean,
re-roll. You have 1 XP left.
I've
as
got
far as I
7
see.
intellect. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Plus, I don't. Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't really need to know what it is. He's just going to like point it abjectly.
Nice.
Work.
Yeah,
I try sneezing. I trying to make myself sneeze like Jackie.
Okay. I'm going to describe this as best I can. You try to do a sneeze. Beth, where are you at this point?
Because it matters.
I'm pouring water
Yes.
over Jeckley,
Okay.
looking at my ciphers, wondering if
But everybody sees you in pouring invisible water on us. So you just got a bucket thinking you're helping.
Yeah.
And everyone's, what are you doing? You're like, I'm trying to help. And it's just a bucket of nothing.
And then there's
it's
Jackie, like,
probably too late now, but
And
I
it-
have an artifact that makes things fire resistant.
and then there's Seto who's just
cool.
like filming it all on a home video. I'll go get into shot.
Well, so-
Oh my god.
So what happens when you activate the camcorder? What was the oh my god?
You guys also
another-
see that I have a Chinese finger trap bound to my belt.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm just saying, that's all I can say because I'm dead. So.
Will, when you activate this camcorder,
Okay.
It just explodes.
it sort of shoots out a column of sort of frigid air and frost that shoots out 30 feet in front of you in sort of a line, and it sort of extends almost in like an upward cone 30 feet in the air, and this makes a almost near permanent wall of like blizzard ice storm that's 1 feet thick, 30 feet long, 30 feet high, inflicting 5 damage to anyone who passes through it.
Nice.
So you just sort of like you drop an ice wall or like a snowstorm blizzard wall on top of Beth, and so you just kind of shoot this, and now there's
I'm
this
so
huge
sorry,
wall.
God.
That's okay.
To make it worse, we'll say that it tears apart like the remaining canopy that was covering as this wall sort of installs itself, because it's going to be there for 15 minutes.
How much damage do I take?
5.
Beth, you'll take 5 damage.
Yeah, and it's cold damage, so you take more. So
it's
you've
cold
snuffed out one of your
damage,
party
yeah.
members, and you've killed him at
It's cold
So
damage.
really,
so
Jack-
it
Jack
heals.
was-
Does
You're
that
like, oh,
mean
he's up.
Cord's dead?
Yeah,
No,
I'm dead.
Cord's
Yeah,
on
Jackie's
fire.
gone.
Shoot drop an ice wall on him.
God.
Yeah, that's how that goes.
That's awesome.
Oh.
That one's for you, Poya.
Oh.
Shattered. Rip
just-
Jack Lee. You saw it here first.
I mean,
Ratchosphere, just let it go, Will.
yep. I'd let rip. I unleashed
So
Madonna.
let's do just a little bit of RP to wrap up the shenanigans that are this session. Will, what does Seto do when trying to help Jack Lee when he realizes that he's just dropped a wall on him, and you immediately see that his skin sort of freezes up and he's sort of now kind of mummified-esque, sort of stiff. And...
I go get my sword and start chopping through the ice.
Just cutting it into pieces.
I'm not cutting you to pieces, just trying to get through the ice to you. Oh man.
It's a wall of
Reminds me of a
frigid
certain scene
air.
from Cold Harbor.
It's not solid ice. It's a wall of frigid air, so you can't even really cut it. It's just like this wall of like ice cold air that if you pass through it, you take 5 cold damage.
Can I spend XP for that not to happen? Nah, that's fine. I will let him die. No, yeah, I guess I like go up to his corpse, like try and like drag it out. I don't care about Alicia. She's probably not dead.
I'm not. It's fine.
Damn.
I
Nah.
have taken. That's the only damage I've taken this session. I feel quite proud of myself.
Yeah, she was good in that fight.
Okay, Jackley. Alright, slap in the face. Jackley.
I walk over and check for a pulse.
Nada.
And I just turned to Seto, and I was like, "He's dead."
This is not the way he should have died. We will bury him.
Camille will both spend XP to bring Jackley back.
That's too much of it. Like you can like tweak the narrative so it's convenient as opposed to changing it. Will could have spent XP, and I did ask. He could have spent XP to re-roll his knowledge check to know that he was about to drop a force wall, but he did not.
True. It's just the sort of thing Seto would just not know.
Yeah. No, I don't like character deaths often, but honoring the donations from chat and then the absurdity that is this game setting, we're sticking to it.
As I'm like sitting over his body, I say, Jackley, I am sorry. I did not know. If you were here, you would have some sarcastic comments to make. I will honor you in life, and I will find an honorable death suitable that you would be proud of. I turn to Alicia and say, start digging.
She starts digging and then stops. She looks at this wall of ice. And she's just like, "Where's Max?"
Oh,
I mean, we can stop a little early if, or we can keep going. But this could be a funny point, just again cinematically. Where's Max? And then next time we play Max, poof, just appear next to you.
I don't know. I think like we do. I want to bury him. Bury him.
No worries.
Okay, in that place, I will hold that sentence until we've buried him.
Sure.
Just retcon that out for now.
At this, there's going to be, a small gaggle of the stork folk who are very cautiously sort of walking towards this courtyard that was in front of their hearthstone that's now been sort of ripped open, has given way to a number of explosions. There's now this sort of frigid wall that cuts through their village. They see the corpse of Jackley lying there. Elijah's still sort of coughing up blood on the ground. They're not really saying anything. They're just sort of forming a perimeter. They're not going to get any closer. They're not going to enter the courtyard. But they're all just dead silent as they watch you dig.
Thank you, Grick, for following. Yeah, I set into digging myself as well. So pitch in, and then I lower his body down, and I feel like I find the dagger which is on my. He's going out. The dagger which is on my side, and I like place it in his cold hands as he goes down into the hole.
Do you search any of his pack or take any of his things?
I mean, I don't think probably he's like we wouldn't bury him with possessions. I'd bury him in his armor, but like his bag and stuff, I'd put to one side.
Sure.
Not that I'm rifling through or anything, but I've just set it to the side for a moment, and I'd carry it with me as to remember him.
Sure.
Is it customary in his culture to say words?
I don't know. Where was he from?
He was from the province to the immediate south. He was from the capital province, Navarine.
He comes from Navarine.
The folk he
Beth, I'd say
abducted.
I would know what the my character would know. Alicia would know, but I've got no idea. So
Yeah, Alicia would know that Navarine, as well as any of the major, like 7 sort of more civilized provinces, would for sure have fairly ritualized funeral ceremonies.
I think
So there would be
saying words would be within the usual rites of passage.
I see. Well, I suppose I know him better than you. So, Jeckley, I forget his second name. Don't think he had one.
Good start.
Jeckley was a man of odd talents. He could sneeze and machines would fall over. He is the man who introduced me to the Willies. And for that, I will never stop thanking him for welcoming me into this land and being my first friend. Jeckley, I will miss you, and I will go on to honor you and find an honorable death that you will be proud of when I meet you again in the afterlife. And then I bow to like the grave as like the last bits of like dirt go in, and then I turn and walk away.
Alicia just kind of stands there fairly awkwardly because I think she must have said about 3 words to him in the last 4 days. And she's just like,
Can Billy break the silence with an uncomfortable squawk?
and I just kind of look at the grave and nod and walk away.
Cool, Will, it's your call if you want to call it there for today.
I mean, I guess I head back to the group and don't
Yeah,
say
at this point,
anything, don't
Elijah's sort of getting up and finally recovering from his sort of coughing fit. He's got sort of blood sort of smeared on his chin from having coughed up the blood, from having inhaled some of the acid.
If his
and he's
burns were inside, would drinking the water help him calm the burns?
If they're in his lungs, well, actually, you remember that the water, one of the first donations was to make the water respond.
Oh, it's the acid water.
to the
Yeah,
acid.
I went off
Yeah.
on water then, don't worry.
pour it down his throat.
Yep.
Kill an NPC as well. He's going to sort of gesture
Just trying
into.
to think if I'm going to kill this man or not, if he is in any way responsible.
Sure. He's going to be, again, sort of very like wheezing when he talks. And he's gesturing towards the hearthstone. And
Like,
he's
give
going to
him
wheeze.
normal water.
He's going to sort of wheeze through, explaining that we need to close that. I won't actually wheeze it so people can hear, but he says we need to close that. That can't be open. What's in there can't be let out into the world.
And Alicia is just like, what exactly is in there?
He's going to explain that it's a disease that you can't see, a disease that you can't fight, a disease you can't cure, a disease that spreads more quickly and more voraciously than even your fire. So he describes some form of
chemical warfare or
biochemical
warfare.
weapons or something. Yeah.
She's just like, that's rather impressive. How do we close it?
He's sort of gesturing towards the entrance that was carved out of the hearthstone. That's all he seems to know. But then he's going to sort of have a bit of a light bulb and ask, again, sort of whizzing through. He's going to ask you, Alicia, how hot can you make your hands?
I can make it super
Never
hard for you.
really wondered. I've never really had to find out. Do you want me to?
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna say that even though these chemicals were kept or needed to be kept at a really hot temperature, if you could perhaps try and either make them boil them off or cause them to sort of be, I'm trying to describe, cup them in your hands, do sort of a Superman thing, is sort of what he's suggesting. But Seto, you'll obviously recall that there's still this big ice wall, and that these chemicals needed to be kept at a very hot temperature.
Whoops.
Elijah's not putting two and two together. He's trying to think of a way to sort of burn out the chemicals or find a way to sort of incinerate them. But they were being kept at about 200, 300 degrees.
Is this guy like? Is he like wheezing on the floor, or is he standing up?
No, he's stood up now, but his talking is sort of this labored sort of wheeze.
Okay. I turn to Alicia and say, do you understand what we have to do?
Burn it.
I turn to Elijah and say, I am a man of my promises, Elijah.
He'll sort of give you a...
Yeah, I say, I forgave you once, and now you're responsible for the death of my friend.
Oh, fuck.
And I draw my sword and run him through.
And there goes the bastard prince who had all of the information about the collusion between the Empire, et cetera, et cetera. Okay,
Whoops.
how do you kill him?
I draw my sword and run him through. And then I as I have him in, I say, that is for Jeckley. And I push him down onto the floor.
His wheeze turns into a gargle and he goes... slumps forward.
Nice. He had no honor.
No honor.
Mm-mm.
Says you who just
The face of
Murdered
the
an
DM,
unarmed
who's like,
man.
He's got all the information.
He's got more information.
Watching Delinia's
It's all
wheels
good.
turn.
No,
Oh, that's
boy.
execution.
no, it's good.
That's
It's
that's
good.
execution. Yeah.
which
I just may have to
isn't
rewrite what the
honourable
next...
at
Execution is honorable.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Execution is the least honourable form of murder you can take.
Mm-mm-mm.
Truly honourable people would have fought him to the
No.
death.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Have you
can't-
watched The
you
Last
can't lecture
Samurai?
me
That's
on
all
this.
about
Have you
execution.
watched The Last Samurai? Come on.
Seppuku.
Brad.
You know nothing, Alicia. Now, I'm going to fix this. You can stay here if you want.
Is there any way Alicia can think of to seal the actual hole in the Hearthstone?
I mean, Cord sort of welded out just a hatch, so just a sort of rectangular
Sideways eye.
hole in the wall. It's a rectangle.
It's a lemon.
I mean, you might be able, if you were to
If
sort of
I
if you were to rejig the welding torch, you'd be able to sort of reseal it. But the other thing too is that you now have about 75 bystanders who now realize that their Hearthstone is hollow and there's something inside.
Can we kill off 2 NPCs in one session? Or PCs in one session?
Can we?
No,
Can Seto? Yes.
can I?
Cansetto, probably. Yeah, I head off and run back into the place. After I'll probably have a brief conversation with Naomi.
You've just run back into the Hearthstone.
I head off to that direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's empty. I mean, none of the Stork people have gone inside. They've maintained their perimeter sort of around the outside of the courtyard.
Cool. I turn back as I head off and say, Alicia, are you coming? Or are you going to stand there all day?
She just kind of sighs and follows him in.
Cool.
Yeah, looks the same as last time you were in there.
Last time I was in there was before the explosion. I'm guessing it's a little bit messier.
Yeah, so the corrosive acid spray was in about a 50-foot radius, and then the explosion was only about 25, 30 feet. And that was coming from the top left corner as you walk in, was the fiery explosion.
Cool. I guess we set to figuring out a way to stop this. But we've only got like 4 minutes, so do you want to call it an episode there?
Wait 2 seconds.
Okay.
Is Poya, are you punching in a donation? He just said in chat, oh, let's go ahead for a doubleheader. Another death by Hearthstone. So we'll give it a minute in case, because another donations are staggered, and I don't want to not honor them.
Ratch did start it.
It's Red started.
He did.
Poya, just call it
that
in chat.
cipher.
Call it in chat if you are going to punch one in, and we'll wait out.
But
I just can't wait. I can't wait to tell Josh everything that happened when he pops back.
Josh
So what
has
happened?
been watching. He's
Okay, good.
he was sat in spoons with James.
Okay.
He has been watching.
Awesome. I don't know what that means, but okay. It's probably some British phrase for what is that? Is that a bar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense than what I was thinking.
It's Weatherspoons. It's
Okay,
bar.
no, he's not.
There are other chain
okay.
bars
I think he was
available.
just waiting for. I think he was just waiting for to see her eat.
See if I would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
See if you would do it.
I would, but Alicia wouldn't, which is the issue. So
What's that? Beth's role playing.
What's that?
Whoa!
What's that? The gas is flammable? What is she doing in there?
Cool.
All right, so Seto, you walk back in. Are you looking for anything in particular? Do you have a purpose to heading back into the Hearthstone?
I mean, I have no real clue what I'm doing other than.
You see all my ciphers on the ground?
Oh yeah, I look through your ciphers, I guess, see if there's anything useful
You
in
see an ornate finger trap that reminds you of home.
there.
He's not wrong.
Cool. Finger trap reminds me of home.
I'm going to start gathering all the vials together into a little pile on the floor. Careful not to open any of them, nudge any of the stops on any of them, and just pile them all into a big pile.
Okay. It'll take like many piles, given that there are 3 of these sort of large freezer units. Each one probably has 200 to 300 of these vials.
Okay, many piles, but yes.
Sure. Yep. So you pile them all up together carefully, gently.
What is the plan?
And I kind of click my fingers and my hands burst into flames. And she looks at them and she's like, I wonder just how hot I can get these. And she kind of puts her hands on the pile that's in front of her. And the flames begin to grow and grow and grow and get hotter and hotter and hotter. How hot can I get them, Delenia?
If you were to spend effort with your intellect pool,
I head out at this point as I see fire. I'm like, oh, well, not going to get burnt again. Thank you, Slim Killington, for following. Welcome. to
Slim
the dungeon.
Killington.
Yeah.
yes, Myth, but only if he puts his finger in it, is all I'll say, and chat can think what they would like about that. Yeah, Beth, the amount of heat that you can generate just sort of normally as best you can doesn't seem to do it, so you're going to have to spend some intellect effort to sort of make it as hot as you can. How many points do you have in your intellect pool?
11 and 1 edge.
Cool, more than enough. You would need to spend 2 levels of effort to really heat this up, to boil these
So
out.
4.
Yep.
Because I've got 1 edge, yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Always put the tip in.
So you can burn off these chemical agents, and
In
we
that
can
case, I
stop
burn
there
it
with
all off.
Seto sort of sighing as he walks out as he sees that she's playing with fire again.
Yeah. I walk out as explosions go behind me. I don't even look.
Now, one thing I will see, Seto, when you see the little finger trap, Cord wasn't just being silly. It is actually like it's inspired with a lot of the same sort of artistic styles of sort of like design and weaving that are from where you're from. So it does, and so you know exactly what it is. You know it's a finger trap that sort of you put your fingers in, and if you just pull directly out, it doesn't actually work.
Interesting. I had one of these back at home for a mouse. These are the thoughts Seto has.
Cool.
So yeah, good session. It's fun.
Thank
That was-
you, chats, for your active presence.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I look forward to coming up with how the hell I'll keep Seto and Alicia together now, as well as what else they can do, given that arc is gone. But that happens. I mean, players, even without an active chat, players make decisions that turn things in different directions, and it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Thank you to Ratchfear and Scarred Staff for your donations as always. They are very much appreciated and hilariously changed the game today. It was,
Well, I was really close to dying anyway.
it's
But,
true. You were on
yeah.
like 2 or 4 or 2 or something.
Yeah, I was at 1, and then I went up to, and I rolled a 2, so I only went up 3, and then like anything else would have probably taken me down anyway. So
You got killed by RNG really because that video camera.
yeah, yeah, that video camera.
RNG was not kind today.
Nope.
Cord,
That's
what
what I
other
really like about
ciphers do you
ciphers.
have?
What other ciphers?
What
I
other
used the
ciphers
nodule
are
today
used?
on
Okay.
the bow, so that was so. If you guys pick up the bow for 24 hours, it does fire damage. But and then I had the finger trap, and that was it. Oh, also
And the
there are
cheese box.
3. There's a if you guys care, his oddity is 3 shoes that fit a tripedal creature. So.
And you have the cheese box.
And I had the cheese box, which we never got to.
What is the cheese
Huh?
box?
Well, you never know. We buried it.
Oh man, that was a fun session.
That was a lot of
That
fun.
was
Thank you guys so much
great.
for donating. That was awesome. I
Yeah,
think it's my first encounter character dead.
I think that is.
That is.
Rip.
Yep.
Yeah, Righteous Fear said they didn't realise how low you were when they donated.
The
It's
guilt
okay.
sets in.
I gave Cord as many opportunities as I could with the donations flowing
You
in
did,
to
yeah,
scrape by. It was
Yeah.
beyond
It
happy.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, and then the cipher really did it. That was rough.
Vivots is new here. He says, "Is there a Facebook, YouTube channel, Twitter, website, and opportunity to gain gold if you follow on Twitch?" It's funny you should
welcome,
say that,
Vivots.
Vivots, because I haven't seen you around here before, mate. But welcome.
It's crazy.
There is indeed. You can find those links in chat, and of course, if you follow, you get an extra free 50 gold to spend in the dungeon to use, and to play a new dice game with Moldark, an exclamation point roll. So that has been a very fun session. Thanks, Mitch, for running that for us. That is
Are we giving away
excellent. We are actually giving some things away. We're giving away a copy of the Player's Handbook here on Halloween. Exclamation point giveaway. You can find it in chat and go and win yourself a copy of this. And of course, we're doing a 24-hour D&D stream this Saturday with a whole load of guests joining us. So come along on the 24th. I'll put up the schedule soon. And oh, Richard won my donger. Good job, boy.
Good job, boy.
That's for the one true fuckboy. He gets my donger.
He gets it.
Yes, you guys can play, of course, exclamation point play on a Thursday. You can come along and play with me. This week we've got a whole new load of people joining in, which is pretty exciting. And the week after there's new people coming in to play. So if you want to play a game, come along on a Thursday and I'll organise as soon as I can to get you in. Is there anything else my life is
What's happening on Saturday?
A 24-hour stream.
24 hours of encounter roleplay. It's gonna be a lot of
Indeed.
fun. We may have some swag coming up.
Oh yeah,
so,
t-shirts,
Yeah.
hoodies, Saturday.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, it's probably the only time you'll ever see me stream without a bow tie is probably when I'll probably somehow figure out a bow tie.
Figure out how to.
Yeah, how to make that work. But yeah.
There's a new module on the website. Go exclamation point module. Go download that. It's for free. Who's on 24-hour stream? Saving Throw Show. Typical
XP web series.
XP web series. Delinea. Who else is coming on? World Building School. Nixeris from chat is going to be running a game. I'll be running a viewer game in the morning. More details to follow.
I'll be running Circus and Furnace, that game that we
Yep.
all created in chat.
Yeah, that module game that we created is going to be played with Saving Throw Show, in fact.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
You're making me hard. And of course, we're back on Wednesday for Out of the Abyss, more D&D 5e happening then. And on Thursday, the West Marches game with viewers is happening on Thursday. So, Mitch, got any plugs, shout-a-roos you want to do?
Yeah, I run a bloggy blog just on all things RPGs, not just D&D. I talk about Numenera, Cypher System stuff too, but also like weird zombie survival games and post-apocalyptic stuff, sci-fi stuff. Delinear.wordpress.com. I just paid to upgrade it. Soon it'll be delinear.net. There's like that little tag there, but it's like two more days till it actually like activates or something. So delinear.wordpress.com or just delinear.net, whichever of the two works, because I don't really know how that's going to transition. We'll see. Lots of free stuff, drop-in content. There's like an address book of NPCs you can just throw into your games, new skins for monsters, locations you can just throw on the road, tons of plot hooks, and then sort of more meta theory stuff for GMs and players as well.
Yeah, cool. Got some shout-a-roos you want to do?
I'm playing Ark with a bunch of my friends, Retrosphere, Undead Baron. It's a lot of fun. You guys can join us whenever I stream. Just follow me, and then you could also I'm giving away, along with them, an Ark copy. And yeah, so you can do exclamation point giveaway, figure out how to do that in my chat. Also, we have a Mumble, so you guys can play along even when we're streaming. You guys can play along and chat with us if we're playing D&D here on Encounter Roleplay. You can hang out in Mumble and have like a live real-time chat with other fans too, which could be a lot of fun. We have a Mumble. What else is there? We also have a Steam group. We got to figure out how to get that command in the chat, but I will link that right now. But yeah, guys, thank you so much today for all of your donations. It was a lot of fun. I really liked Jekly, but I'm super excited to make a new character because this game is a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, thanks again. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
that is the
it's the wrong link.
Or that's not it. I lied. No, that is
Yep.
just the logo. Everybody enjoy that logo. All right, let me try to get the right link here. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for coming along as always. And until next time, try not to get your friend killed by getting him inside a gigantic gash and it exploding and then covering him in a wall of ice. I think that's
It was acid
pretty
and
much
then it was ice.
After burning him.
acid, explosion, burning, ice. We got all four in. That was pretty impressive. Try not to do any of those
water in there
things.
too. It was all
Yeah,
elements
water.
killed me.
Yeah, it really took a lot to kill Jake Lee, but we got there in the end. And of course, try not to roll too many nat ones because we want to be here laughing here when you do. Until next time, everybody stay safe. Until Wednesday, we will let you out of the dungeon then. Good night, everyone.